Another big crowd making its way into Yankee Stadium, and they have one hope, that the Yankees sock it to the Tigers tonight in the Bronx. Curtis Granderson did last night. Kia Motors presents the Wednesday game of the week. The defending world champion New York Yankees against the Detroit Tigers in Game 3 of a 4-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Paul O'Neill and John Flaherty, I'm Michael Kay. After losing 2 in a row, the Yankees came back last night, and they won a game 6-2. Also, they showed some power, and it started with Curtis Granderson, Paul, playing very well against his old team.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the old team or if just the minor adjustments he's made at the plate, but in the second inning yesterday, quick bat through the zone, drives one out, deep right center field, made some good defensive plays also, but again, later in the game, in the 7th, you look at Robbie Cano. This is the one that you're used to seeing. A little hanging curveball from a lefty. Robbie Cano, 12th home run against left-handed pitching this year.
Now, if you check out the difference between last night and the previous 2 games, Stark, in 2 games, they scored just 1 run. Last night, 6. Last night, they hit 300. Last night, they had 2 home runs. So maybe they straightened out their offense. Let's look at tonight's New York Lottery pitching matchup. Dustin Mosley certainly hopes the Yankees are going to score some runs. 2-2, 4.41. Bonderman will go for the Tigers, 6-8, 5.16. And John, Mosley last time out did not pitch that well.
No, he was a little shaky. It's probably the first time we have seen him struggle with his location. He's a sinker baller. He has a little cutter. But when he misses by a full plate like he does right there to Billy Butler, he's going to get hit hard. Change up, a real good pitch, but he can't live up in the zone right there. Hit down the left field line, and the one swing that hurt the Yankees, the opposite field home run for Billy Butler was a difference in Kansas City.
I'll tell you what, he's not going to give them 9 innings, so the Yankees are going to have to go to their bullpen. And that's not something that they're afraid to do, because their bullpen has become one of their strengths. How much of a strength? When we come back with John Flaherty, we'll explain on segment 2 right here on Yes. First pitch of the Yankees and the Tigers. That's John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay, and Paul O'Neill will rejoin us in just a moment. The first 2 years of Joe Girardi's tenure, what he and pitching coach Dave Island and bullpen coach Mike Harkey have done, they fashioned the bullpen out of something that wasn't so great at the beginning of the year. Right now, the Yankee bullpen turning into a strength in the last 20 games, 2-1 record, a sparkling ERA of 1.13. They've allowed just 3 home runs, and they've held the opponents to a 171 batting average. And John, last night was no different.
Well, last night is the formula that Joe Girardi would like to use. David Robertson in the 8th inning, you give the ball to Mariano Rivera. I really feel like the work of David Robertson has changed the bullpen in the last couple of weeks, couple of weak fly balls last night. Handing the ball over to Mariano Rivera, number 42, gets a weak ground ball. Did not pick up a save last night, has 24 on the year. But that bridge to Mariano now has a couple of candidates. Jabba Chamberlain, Kerry Wood throwing the ball well, David Robertson. The bullpen is now a strength at the end of the year.
Now, Yankee fans have been happy to welcome back Johnny Damon. They want good things for him, but not against the Yankees. They want the guys in pinstripes to do well. That's been happening. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, next on Yes. with Domino's Tracker. By IOTV. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV. And by Acura. Acura Advance. Kind of an overcast early evening here in New York City. The Yankees have taken the field. Dustin Mosley is taking his warm-up tosses, and that signals us to let you take a look at the Tigers starting lineup, which is presented, as always, by our good friends at Lexus. Austin Jackson, the former Yankee farmhand, plays center, leads off, batting second, playing second, Ramon Santiago. Ryan Rayburn in right field will hit third. Cleaning up and playing first base, Miguel Cabrera. Johnny Damon, the DH, bats fifth tonight. Johnny Peralta, shortstop, is going to bat sixth. Batting seventh and playing third base, Brandon Inge. Alex Avila is the catcher. He's going to bat eighth, and batting ninth and playing left field, Don Kelly. Let's take a look at the numbers on Dustin Mosley. 8 games, 4 starts, 2-2. Hit per inning, 17 strikeouts, 12 walks. Opponents hit .268 against him. And now let's take a look at the scouting report on the Yankee right-hander.
Well, more important, I mean, with the news yesterday on Andy Pettitte, I mean, Mosley's starts become much more important to see if he's going to be somebody you can count on. And lucky 7, this is kind of unusual. He's only one of 7 Yankees to start a game this year, which a lot of teams can't say. And no rain. I don't know if that's my scouting report or his, but his last start, very unusual start. He's in Kansas City, ended up giving up a home run right before the second rain delay. Actually cost him the decision, came up with a loss.
He is ready. So is Jackson. Let's do it. Here in the Bronx, the first pitch is a strike, and we are underway. Well, Eric Cooper did not call that a strike. It's low, so it's 1-0. There's a strike, and the count 1-1.
Paul, you mentioned that last start in Kansas City. That was really the first time we had seen Mosley struggle with location. He is a sinker baller who can work the corners. He was kind of lost at the beginning of that ball game. Actually found it in the second and third. The first inning was kind of rough.
You almost looked shocked when you saw the replay of him giving up that home run that went off the foul pole. Just didn't make sense to him.
That's going to be a base hit. But a great play by Pena, made it close.
You were on your game. You called that before he even made the throw. You made the call at first base before he even let go.
Very close to being wrong.
Jackson gets out of the box in good shape, just out of the reach of Mosley, but a nice play by Pena to make this close. Beats it by not even a half a step. Goes with the glove, a nice transfer and a good strong throw.
Wow. Quickly got that ball out of his glove and made a good throw.
Here is Ramon Santiago playing second base. Carlos Guillen is on the DL after that takeout slide, which was clean by Brett Gardner, ending Monday's game. And Jim Leland, forget about me saying it was clean. Jim Leland, the manager of the Tigers, an old school guy, said that Gardner had nothing that he did wrong in that slide, and Guillen got hurt, and he's on the DL. So they called up Will Rhymes to replace him.
Santiago last night had a couple good at-bats. One of them he laced to left field, and that's what you have to do against a sinker baller like Mosley. Good matchup for Santiago. Talking about Jim Leland, I mean, he's a guy that would want the same thing done on his behalf by his team. I mean, you're just out there to win games. So you have an opportunity to break up a double play, to try to, extend a game in the 9th inning. You do everything you can as a base runner.
Keeping Austin Jackson close.
There's a late slide from Brett Gardner. And I'll tell you what, the impressive part, Guillen really hasn't played the field the last couple of years. You can see the contact, but a good strong throw to complete that double play.
Runner goes. Swung and a miss. Throw to second. Got him. Posada guns down Jackson. And Cano makes the tag.
Doesn't get much better than this for Jorge Posada. Jackson doesn't get a great jump. He peeks in, probably a hit and run that Santiago swung right over the top. But if you're Jorge Posada, comes out in good shape, stays low. Nice four-seam carry right on the bag, and easy tag for Robinson Cano.
1-1. Hit sharply and through for base hit. Let's take a look at that tag at second base by Cano, and we'll have it on the Coors Light freeze cam. And freeze it. There you have it. Before he hit the bag. Good call by the second base umpire, Ted Tickner.
I've heard that name before from game one. Huh?
Home plate umpire. I said Ted, it's Todd, I'm sorry. Posada gunning down Jackson snaps a streak of 5 for 5 in stolen base attempts against Mosley so far this year. Count 1-0 on Ryan Rayburn. Count 1-1.
Well, nothing against Ryan Rayburn, but this is where they really miss Maglio Ordonez in the middle of this lineup. Rayburn hit a big home run the opening game of this series against Javi Vasquez. We've seen 3 different number 3 hitters in the 3 games here. Brennan Boss the first night, Johnny Damon last night, Ryan Rayburn tonight.
Rayburn batted 6th on Monday night, had a 2-run home run in the second inning. This time he might have a double play. There's 1. And there's 2. An inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. Yankees get the Tigers, no runs, 2 hits, and nobody left on base. 10-pitch inning, Tigers nothing, and the Yankees coming to bat. Brett Gardner, the left fielder, will lead off. Batting second and playing shortstop, the captain, Derek Jeter. Mark Teixeira at first base will hit third. Cleaning up and playing second base, Robinson Cano. Nick Swisher will DH tonight up at fifth. Batting sixth, catching, Jorge Posada. Curtis Granderson in center field will hit seventh. Batting eighth and playing right field, Austin Kearns, and Ramiro Pena, the third baseman, will bat ninth. Let's take a look at the numbers on Jeremy Bonderman. 21 starts, 6 and 8, 5.16. About 10 more hits than innings pitched. 90 strikeouts, 36 walks. Opponents hitting .274 against him. Now let's take a look at the scouting report.
Well, on his way back, I mean, he returns to the Tiger rotation this year, but after missing almost a year and a half with the surgery that he had. But he's not a Yankee fan. I mean, he's lost 6 out of his last 7 decisions against the Yankees, and rough road. He hasn't pitched well on the road this year either. He's got a 6.45 ERA in 9 road games this year. So the scouting reports that I took up,
Brett Gardner promptly takes first. That wasn't in your scouting report.
No, but if the scouting report holds true, it should be a good night for the Yankees. Doesn't pitch well against the Yankees, doesn't pitch well on the road.
See, Joe Girardi's going to go out and have a conversation. First pitch, right in the right ankle.
Doesn't throw a good first pitch. I mean, everything's setting up right now.
Now, Jim Leland is also coming out, and he's going to talk with the home plate umpire, Eric Cooper. And I think that the benches were warned after that, which doesn't make sense.
Tell me something, Flesh. When you, I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, it's the first pitch of the game, but when you are warned, do you realize that as a catcher and you do call a different game?
It changes your pitch selection for sure. I mean, and I think most of all, you have to realize if you have a pitcher who can throw the ball in and not be wild, maybe hitting some people. I think Mosley can do that, but the thought is definitely in your mind.
Now let me throw this at both of you guys. We keep saying, and Jim Leland said it was clean, was that retaliation for Gardner taking out Guillen.
You know what? Every once in a while, a player will feel that he needs to do something, and there's the warning. You see it. I mean, it wasn't a talk. There was a warning given. But, you know, I don't know. What do you think, Fleck?
You know, that's the only thing you could relate it to with Brett Gardner, but hard to believe. First pitch of the ball game. Wouldn't you wait till maybe a different spot?
That one inside as Jeter showed bunt. And now becomes a game of chance with the umpires. Okay, that was inside. Did he do it on purpose? I mean, so the umpire has to become a mind reader.
Well, you have to do, if you're an umpire, use common sense. I mean, you get frustrated when some of these umpires see a ball up and in. They automatically think you're throwing at somebody.
But here's the question, though. Let's say that they did that on purpose. They thought that Gardner slide was late, Guillen's injured, he gets on the DL, and Bonderman hit him. Why get involved and warn people? That's how the game is played. You police yourself.
And I can't think that Aaron Cooper would know that coming into the game, that something that happened a while ago. First pitch has got to kind of surprise you. How do you immediately come right out from and start warning people?
Michael, you mentioned that's the way the game is played. That's the way the game should be played, where you police yourself. Umpires stay out of the way. Let the pitchers of the opposing clubs take care of it.
Now let's take a look at the defense behind Bonderman. It's brought to you by Mercedes. You've got Kelly, Jackson, and Rayburn left to right in the outfield. Inge, Peralta, Santiago, and Cabrera third to first. Avila behind the plate, and then Bonderman is on the mound. One. There's a strike. This afternoon, Tampa Bay beat Texas 8-6. Swept the Rangers, Tampa Bay did, down in St. Pete. So now the Rays hold a half-game lead over the Yankees. Yankees win, they return into a tie atop the American League East. And Boston's playing the Angels at Fenway, just underway. Garrett tries to hold up. He cannot, according to Chad Fairchild. And he will go down on strikes.
Well, Bonderman's a different pitcher now than he was early on, but he still has enough for the fastball. You see the American League East standings. The Yankees a half a game behind with that win this afternoon. Take a look from the side. He doesn't throw 95, 96 anymore, but he can throw the ball in with a little bit of movement. Look like Derek swung.
There's Mark Teixeira, and there's a strike.
Guys, that series in Tampa raised your eyebrow a little bit. I mean, the Rays sweeping the Rangers. The Rangers obviously a very good team.
You know, the Rays got off to that unbelievable start. Then they kind of, just went pale for a while. Then all of a sudden now they're hot again, and it's going on pitching. But it is that time of the year where you do start to think about who you could possibly play in the playoffs. Yeah. And you come out and sweep the Texas Rangers, as good a team as they are. Really boost your confidence down there in Tampa.
Well, this ends a streak of 8 games against the top teams in the East for the Texas Rangers. They split with the Yankees. They took 2 out of 3 against the Red Sox, and then they get swept by Tampa Bay. And the thing that has to be disturbing to the Rangers, in 2 of those games, Cliff Lee didn't pitch well. Yankees came back against him, and so did the Rays. Runner goes. That one is driven deep to right field. Rayburn back, looking up. See ya! 2-run home run off the bat of Mark Teixeira, and the Yankees lead 2-0.
Best thing you can do as a teammate, if you think one of your guys gets hit on purpose, is make him pay for it. Gardner was on the run there, but Mark Teixeira goes in for one thing. It's like a little cut fastball that didn't quite get it on the inside part of the plate. Absolute no doubter to right field. Good sign for the Yankees. Teixeira, with A-Rod out of the lineup, if he can go through another one of those little power streaks. Granderson swinging the bat well. Good things for the offense.
27th home run overall, now has 88 runs batted in. That's his 8th home run in the last 12 games at Yankee Stadium.
That felt good even in slow motion, you know that?
That one is driven deep to right field. Does it have the height? Yes, see ya! A laser home run into the short porch. Back-to-back home runs by the Yankees. They lead 3-0.
Robinson Cano got a hanging slider last night, hit his 22nd home run of the year. Here's a fastball in. Bonderman tries to sneak it in there, but Robinson Cano just too quick, beats him to the spot. And not as high and far as Mark Teixeira's, but it may be a little more impressive. This ball is a line drive bullet out of here. Back-to-back home runs.
Every once in a while, you need just a little wake-up call. And I mean, when your first guy gets drilled like that, all of a sudden, you know, there's a little intensity on the end. You see a couple of home runs, and good things for the offense.
Pitch to Swisher is a strike. That's 17 home runs now allowed by Bonderman in his last 14 starts. Count 1-1.
Talk to people around the Tigers about Bonderman. You know, you remember a couple of years ago, just a hard thrower, mid-90s, power slider. Now it's more low 90s, relies on a little bit of movement. The slider is his best pitch.
We talked about the surgery he's coming back, Michael. The thoracic outlet compression syndrome, which has to do with his ribs. And it actually kind of blew up his arm by not. Don't ask me.
A blood clot, I think.
Yeah. And, you know, almost a year and a half out with coming back from this. But, you know, he's made his starts this year, but he's not back to where he was pre-surgery.
You know, I actually caught a guy in Tampa, Ryan Roop. I don't know if you remember this guy, but he, in Cleveland, had the same situation, was pitching, was throwing a no-hitter for 4 innings. And he said his hand was blown up like a balloon, couldn't feel anything. Turned out that night after the game, it was the same thing. Had a rib removed. Wow. Was never the same after that.
Count 2-2 on Swisher. Swing and a miss. Goes down on strikes. Let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. 76 degrees, humidity 60%, not much wind. The forecast is humid and scattered showers. And that's going to bring up Posada. Jorge, 4 for his last 25. Pitch outside. High fly ball, right center. Austin Jackson drifts over, and he makes the play. But the Yankees get 3 runs. Bonderman is a tough guy, and he hits Brett Gardner, and then he pays for it. A 2-run home run off the bat of Teixeira, and then back-to-back as Cano goes yard. 3-0 Yanks. let's take a look at the defense behind them. Brought to you by Mercedes. Gardner's in left, Granderson in center, and Kearns over in right. Infield, Pena, Jeter, Cano and Teixeira third to first. Posada behind the plate. Dustin Mosley is on the mound. It's going to be 4, 5, and 6 in the Tigers order. Cabrera, Damon, and Peralta. And honestly, the Tigers are hanging on the fringe of the Central. It doesn't look like they have much of a chance. Twins with a big win yesterday with Jim Thome, a walk-off home run. First walk-off home run in the history of the new Target Field. And he's had quite a year. He really has.
Did you hear his interview after that?
No.
A typical Jim Thome here. He's giving credit to the other team. He's giving credit to his club. He's giving credit to Thornton, who gave up the game-winning home run. He throws hard. Give him credit, but I put a good swing on it. You know, I get a little good. Just everybody got credit for a big win in Minnesota.
He is an old country boy. I used to love to get to first base and just hear something because he loved to talk, too.
Pitch to Cabrera is inside. Who's the best first base talker, Paul?
Thome was up there just because, you know, the stuff that came out of his mouth was fun. It's just good old. There's another one.
Deep to left. See ya. Long home run off the bat of Miguel Cabrera. Ball flying out of the Bronx tonight. It is 3-1 Yankees.
You know, he's just so good of a hitter. You keep saying we're going to bust him in because he went away the first night off of Java. And CeCe did a good job last night, but you know, Cabrera's a good hitter. He made the adjustment, too. Every once in a while, you get a feeling a team's going to start busting you inside. What do? You open up and hit one 400 feet. The ball, I mean, really is on the inside corner where he's trying to throw the ball. He's just a good hitter. Hey, when the fans got to chase him down the hallways, that ball's hit. You know that?
Here's Johnny Damon. Pitch high.
That ball doesn't even land. It hits and just keeps going. Things ricocheting in the novelty shop out there.
High fly ball to right field. Austin Kearns will put it away for the first out. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes.
The shot of adrenaline you got when you just hit a home run flash. You know, you try to keep it in the dugout, but you know, it does just give you a great feeling to sit there. Everybody wants to know what kind of pitch it was, and you know, you're trying to act real cool about it, but it's still pretty cool.
I thought it was only me. I mean, I never hit any home run. He's got 29. He's still good into it.
Line drive right at Jeter. Retires Peralta, 2 away.
What you like about Mosley, he will throw the ball over the plate. I guess you give up a long home run, but he's not afraid of contact. It's his game. It's interesting you said in the scouting report, Paul, you know, he's a big starter now with Andy Pettit. Going to miss some more time. And lean on him for some valuable innings here down the stretch.
There's Brandon Inge. Pitch outside.
Michael, I heard you talking about a little bit on your radio show today that there's no given date. There's no specific date that you can count on Andy Pettit taking the mound, whether it's a big series or not. You don't know at this point when he's going to be back out on the mound.
And if he misses, let's say, 2-3 more weeks, which I think is possible, what's that, 5 starts? Maybe 6. So, I mean, it puts a lot of pressure on Vasquez to rediscover his stuff. A.J. Burnett to continue to pitch well. Mosley to pitch well. And the one variable that's thrown in there that's a little scary, to the best of everybody's guessability, Phil Hughes has 31 more innings to throw. If you say 175 is the cutoff, so that's 5 games at 6 innings to start. So what do you do if he reaches that?
You know, that's in an ideal situation. I think it comes down to winning a division. I think that, you know, that might be extended a little bit. I mean, you've got a big game, say, the last week in Boston, and he's out of innings. Do you think you're going to start him and pull him after 5 if he's got good stuff?
When you take it to another level, maybe you have a wild card maybe locked up. If Boston slips a little, if they don't, you can't take him out, can you?
No, I don't think so.
I'm with you.
3-2 on Inge. High fly ball center field. Granderson drifts back. He's there and he'll make the play. But the Tigers get a run back, and they go the long ball route. 1-0 count, and Cabrera goes yard deep to left field. At the end of 1.5, 3-1 Yanks. Bobby Thompson shot heard around the world, the most historic walk-off home run in baseball history. You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. And your choices are 1 yes and 2 no. I vote yes. There's Curtis Granderson. There's strike. One quick thing, and finishing up the point about Phil Hughes. He's at 134, so if you go to 175, which everybody guesses is the number, that's 41 more innings. So that gives you a little bit more room. There's a high fly ball, left field, and Kelly puts it away. An interesting conundrum for the Yankees, though. Brian Cashman has said it, that when the team makes a playoff, or if the team makes a playoffs, the clock starts all over again, which I understand. But if they need to pitch him and he's out of innings, why wouldn't you start the clock there? You have to get into the playoffs, right?
Didn't you always hear there's no clock in baseball? You know, it makes it pretty special. Again, I think the situation might end up taking care of itself.
Right.
I mean, the Yankees could be 6 games up by now, and you could do that. Or, you know, you could be on the brink of not making it and making it, and then your players have to play. That's just the way it is.
See, that's an interesting point, though. I mean, if the Yankees and teams in baseball feel this, if they feel they're really jeopardizing the future of their pitcher, do you jeopardize the future of your pitcher to make the playoffs that year? I mean, if you feel that strongly about innings limits, then there really can't be a deviation from them. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to be in Brian Cashman and Joe Girardi's shoes on this.
Well, I agree, but I think you have to look at how the pitcher is throwing. Phil Hughes went through a little tough stretch where you could say, you know what, maybe he's fatiguing. His last couple outings have been pretty good. Ball's jumping out of his hand better than it was. So I think you got to kind of go start to start down the stretch and just pay attention. Does he look like he's worn out?
See, right there, he was thinking about it. See, he looks a little worn out. He's thinking about the same thing. I got 41 more innings. How am I going to use them? Huh?
And he's had such a good year. I mean, you want to run him out there. 2-2, grounded to short. Peralta will get Kearns for the second out. I mean, he's 14-5. And with Andy out, that's the Yankees' second best starter there. Here is Ramiro Pena. Used last 5 starts, 3-2, 3.77.
All right, Michael, and here we go. What's that word you use? Conundrum?
Conundrum.
Here's the next conundrum.
Right.
All right. Now you got A-Rod. Is he out 2-3 days, or is this a week or 10 days? So that, you know, it just, there's a lot going on in that clubhouse that is going to play out. You hope that it's just a minor strain, which they said yesterday. But again, that calf thing can be tricky.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the conundrum is, do you sit him out for 10 days now, make sure he's healthy, or do you have him sit out 2 or 3 days, and then if he re-injures it, then you're in trouble?
Yeah.
I mean, he's so valuable to this team. You want him in every single day, but not at the risk of not having him later. Same thing with Andy.
Right now that you're at a point where, you wait a couple days, but you get to a point of 4 or 5 days and it's not getting better, then you got to pull the plug there too.
But then let's take it a step further. If you can have Robinson Cano and Mark Teixeira swinging the bats like they have the leg, Mark finally gets it going a little bit tonight, but Robinson's been good. Then there's not as much pressure.
Right.
Got some guys in the middle of the lineup who are locked in.
3-0. There's a strike.
It's so much easier to make the decisions up here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, our job's not on the line if we make the wrong one.
I don't know. Flip's in the house tonight. John Filippelli, our job might be on the line. You don't know.
Count 3-2.
You were doing the pregame. I said it was like the principal sitting there watching you do your test or something. By the way, you were excellent tonight, Michael.
Thank you.
Stutter in.
Thank you.
I can't remember what you said, but you said some good stuff.
Principal inspired me. Here's a 3-2. Foul back. Bottom of the second here at the stadium. The sky beyond the scoreboard has a very strange color to it, kind of a pinkish blue as the sun is setting. I wonder if the apartment there has a decent view of the ballgame.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could see it, I guess it can see you.
It's higher than us. It's got to look in. At least see home plate.
Nobody's watching. That's a luxury box. So he walks the number 9 hitter, Ramiro Pena. There's some of that pinkish glow. And here is Brett Gardner. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning as home plate umpire Eric Cooper warned both teams. Count 1-0.
Had a good night last night going with the shoes again, Paul.
Brand new shoes, a little dirty, but they still got some knocks in it, I'm sure, for him. He's probably feeling good about it. He's boiling right now. Anytime you get hit, the ideal thing is just to hit a line drive right in vapor. Look at that. Wow. You just want to hit a line drive right back at him with my new vapors on.
Gardner is 8 for 19 over his last 7 games at .421. How many shoes you go through a year?
There's some guys that go through a couple pair a week. I used to probably 4 or 5 different pairs, and you would keep one pair that were kind of worn out to wear on the rainy nights. So you wouldn't, if you had a new pair of shoes, you wouldn't ruin them. So you had a pair of mudders and then, a couple pair of game shoes.
And the right fielder always seemed to be in the mud because that's where they would dump the water.
Absolutely no respect for the right fielders. Even when you went to Tampa in the dome when they were sweeping stuff, they sweep it out into right field. It just didn't matter what ballpark you were in. The right field just doesn't matter. Still pretty though.
High fly ball, right field, Rayburn back. And he'll make the play for the final out of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We played 2 here at the stadium. It's 3-1 Yankees. third inning to see from the T and the A in Stadium a little bit of a rainbow. Wow, that looks great. Where's the pot of
I was
gold?
just saying, the pot of gold's in the North Bronx right now. Wow.
That's beautiful. Great shot. And what a perfect transition to Hope Week, which the Yankees have done great work last year and the first 3 days of this week. And we bring in our very own Kimberly Jones. And Kim, today, a very special kid was honored by the Yankees, Mohamed Kamara. Tell me about Mohamed.
He's an 18-year-old, Michael, born in 1992 in war-torn Sierra Leone. By age 9, he was the breadwinner in his family. He'd go to seek food for his mother, who was ill, and his 5 younger siblings. His father was absent. Mohamed, who likes to be called Mo, remembers finding mango trees and being scared to climb them, but knowing he had to, he'd take the fruit back home and hope that the rebels hadn't scared away his family or that they hadn't been desperate and gone looking for food while he was away. So he had to grow up fast. And 6 years ago, Michael, as the war subsided, he made a difficult decision to join his aunt and uncle who live in an impoverished area of the Bronx. He was seeking a better life for him and his family. Michael, he still provides for his family in Sierra Leone. He is a caddy at Montami Golf Club in Alpine, New Jersey. He caddies every day. He doesn't have school, rising at 4 a.m. At first, he was the worst caddy there. Now he's one of the best among the 50 caddies. And every single dime he makes is sent home to Africa in hopes of making it a better life for his siblings. His mother, in the meantime, has passed away, and he did not have the money to go home for her funeral. And by the way, that commute to Alpine, New Jersey, 5 hours total a day, two trains and 2 buses. This is a kid, Michael, who grew up fast and knows the definition of hard work.
All right, so what did the Yankees do with Mo today to honor what he's done with his life?
Well, they gave him a fantastic day. He was joined by Jeter, Sabathia, Granderson, Timms, Brian Cashman, and Reggie Jackson. He has an interest in business. They went to the New York Stock Exchange. They then headed to City Hall, where he met with Mayor Michael Bloomberg. And finally, they went to the UN, where they toured the General Assembly. And they also met with the permanent representative of Sierra Leone. Marcus Timms told me that Mo's face lit up when he met with the representative, knowing how much his homeland still means and always will mean to him.
And a beautiful ending to all of this. And obviously, Mo ended up here at the ballpark today. But he was kind of offered a job for next year, right?
That is right. He will be an intern next year at the New York Stock Exchange. An awesome opportunity for a kid who has a partial scholarship to attend Johnson & Wales University in Rhode Island and who, like I said, wants to major in business. And I said to him, as I did an interview with Mo and Derek Jeter, I said, I think you're going to be so successful in business. And Derek corrected me. I think he'll be successful in anything he chooses to do, the captain said.
Austin Jackson goes the other way. It's run down by Kearns. Great story, Kim, and a great job by the New York Yankees. We'll hear from Kim again in the postgame show. Thanks a lot, Kim.
Thank you.
So congratulations to Mo. Congratulations to the Yankees. And that rainbow means something, I would think, as the Yankees lead 3-1 as we head to the bottom of the third. Acela Express. Enjoy the journey. One more game against Detroit, and that's tomorrow at 1:05. And 3 games against Seattle, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon. Then on the road again, 3 games against Toronto at Rogers Center, a day off on Thursday. And then the Yankees have 3 against the White Sox, who might be desperate by that time. They need to win some games. So we go to the bottom of the third. Derek Jeter leads off, and the pitch is inside. 1-0. Couple of home runs for the Yankees, accounting for their 3 runs, a 2-run shot and a solo shot, and a home run by Cabrera of the Tigers, a solo shot, accounts for the Tiger run. There's a ground ball to short, and Jeter is out for the first out of the third. Hey, congratulations have to go out to Yankee owner Hank Steinbrenner and Hank's Yanks, a group of 18 and under New York City kids that Hank Steinbrenner has put together to play in Long Island's baseball heaven. Now, the children on the team come from a wide variety of backgrounds, and Hank's Yanks are going to play against a team sponsored by Mariano Rivera in what will be the first Bosses Cup for the New York City Championship. And the game's going to be played right here at Yankee Stadium on Thursday, August 26th at 12 noon.
Are we announcing that one?
I think you are.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's on your schedule.
That's my first play-by-play?
Absolutely. I think Hank wants you to do that.
Who are you rooting for? Hank's bunch or Moe's?
I think you got to root for the boss.
All right, I'm with you. Pretty neat story.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's going to be a big thrill for those kids. I remember I played at the old stadium when I was in high school, one of those all-star games. You come to Yankee Stadium, doesn't get any better than that.
And I got to go to Plain City, Ohio in my all-star game. You got to go to Yankee Stadium? Come on.
Teixeira rips one foul. Now, how about this? The New York and the Boston media get the thrill of playing at Yankee Stadium before a Yankee Red Sox game, and then they play at Fenway Park. Well, Mark Feinsand, the beat writer for the New York Daily News, ripped his calf muscle, and he's in a walking boot. And I just told him, I said, Mark, they don't pay. You don't play. What are you doing? It's over. You're too old. Can't do it.
Well, he said that our own Jack Curry made a bad throw across the diamond that cost him, that he had to move. So he was blaming Jack for the bad throw.
You know what? I witnessed a couple of these games. They're good. I wish I'd have done play-by-play on those. Those are good.
So he had to move, and that ripped the calf muscle.
Ripped the calf.
Well, that lends a lot of questions, which we won't get into. But well, he's in a walking boot, though. It's been a while.
Hey, injuries are hitting every team now, you know. Got to fight through them.
Mark's working, though, so that's important. The 3-2. Grounded foul.
Is Clapp still the star pitcher for the Yankees?
Clapp pitches, absolutely. And how about that dedication? Last year, pitching in the Semi-Pro League, a line drive shattered his eye. He had all these surgeries, and he still will not go off the mound. He just loves the game so much. I mean, major surgeries he's had.
You got a lifetime average in that game, right?
Oh, I got an average.
Yeah? Does it start with 0?
No. I don't think it starts with 0. I did okay.
Did you?
I did all right. I think the best, I had a double. I had a double right center at the old stadium.
Now, when you walk and somebody walks behind you, that doesn't count as a double. You actually hit the ball.
Oh, then let me reconsider. Boy, is Teixeira making Bonderman work.
You ever go deep in BP?
Oh, please.
No?
Lucky to hit the ball.
The Green Monster, how short it is.
Did you ever hit the Green Monster?
Yeah, a couple of times. BP.
This is the ninth pitch of the at-bat. High fly ball. Rayburn can't see it. He has no idea where it is. And it bounces into the seats for a double. You can see the color of the sky right now. It's going to be tough to pick up the baseball. And Rayburn had no clue.
I mean, this is all you can do right there. You see it's just is smile because you have no chance. The ball goes up. You get a jump on it. Then it disappears into that rainbow that we were taking a picture of, and you just do not pick it up. You can see right there, no chance. Uh-oh, here. And then you just never have enough reaction time to get there.
When you don't see the ball, is there that fear that you're going to get hit in the face?
No, it's the fear of not catching the ball. I mean, you're out there for one thing when you're on defense is to catch fly balls, and this is what the pitcher you can't hold them responsible if you can't see the ball. A ball's hitting the sun, a ball's hitting the lights, or it's hitting it is a tough sky tonight. There's not much you can do as an outfielder.
Here's Cano, pitch outside. Hey, they give him a double. The fielder doesn't touch the ball. That's a double.
And there was always a time in the game that the high sky you don't see well, and you would scream in. I would scream in at Knobloch and Tino to I don't see it real well right now. Point it out. Point it out. They also know that they might have to come out on a short fly ball at that point. You see the ball better in the infield than you do the outfield, obviously, with that sky.
John never lost a ball behind a plate, ever. No matter what the color of the sky.
Never lost him. Just had trouble catching him. It's my least favorite play behind the plate was a pop-up.
Especially when they're hitting the catwalks and stuff down in Tampa Bay.
The 2-0. 3-0.
Bonderman doing the smart thing here, pitching around Robinson Cano. A couple of sliders, a changeup off the plate. First base open.
You remember, if you're a baseball fan, that Bonderman was an overpowering pitcher. Mid-90s, good curveball. You said it, Flash. He's not the same pitcher he was, but trying to work his way back to be there. I mean, he's much more of a pitcher now than he was back then.
And he walks Cano. Rick Knapp's going to come out, and he's made a lot of trips so far in this series. He wants to settle down Bonderman. And you wonder how much it unsettles a pitcher when he thinks he gets the second out, and all of a sudden you can see the look on Bonderman's face, and you're supposed to pick up your teammate, but there's going to be a natural inclination maybe to just get down and maybe let down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
I almost covered that up today. Let's see if you could do that. Huh?
No way.
No?
No. You did it once beautifully.
It's my highlight of the year so far. Flash, did you tune in that night?
I missed that one. I missed that one. How did Disseminated go?
It surprised me when it came up. That's one of those things you should pre-read before you throw it out there.
Nick Swisher not happy with home plate umpire Eric Cooper, and we saw a couple of these last night, Paul. The high strike. Hitters are not used to that being called a strike. We also talked last night, a little tennis elbow going on with Nick. Really has to concentrate on backing the ball up. Does not want to be fooled where he extends and is off balance.
That's the second one. As a hitter, that drives you crazy because you think you missed the first one, which you probably did. And then all of a sudden, it's almost like you get another one, you expect it, and here you are in a count with 2 strikes. You don't feel like the pitcher's even throwing a strike yet. And that ball, I mean, that's a borderline high strike by the rules, but it's just not a pitch you see called as a hitter.
2-2.
You get so frustrated, and it's obviously the wrong thing to do as a hitter, but you get so frustrated you almost feel like you're hitting against the umpire instead of the pitcher in counts like these.
And the count 3-2. Yankees up 3-1. We are in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Jorge Posada is on deck. Swisher hitting .347 with men on base this year, and this is his 86th full count of the year. And he swings and misses for the second out of the third. Let's take a look now at the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. Jeremy Bonderman made his first start against the Yankees on June 1st, 2003, a game that turned into a 17-inning marathon. What Yankees pitcher picked up the win in relief?
I should know that. I was in the stadium that night. 17 innings, I'd have to believe I might have had a part in that one. I think Jorge Posada went the whole way.
I did not call that game because I would remember it if I was up here for 17 innings.
Remember it. You've been complaining about it 7 years later.
No way, man. You just... No. You sent me out to... You just hanging me out to dry here.
Paul, you talked about Bonderman and how much he has changed. A 3-2 slider to Nick Swisher, not giving in. Just can't rear back and try to throw it by some people. More finesse. Trying to get these Yankee hitters to use their aggressiveness against them.
Grounded right side. Fielded there by Santiago. And Bonderman is covering. And that's going to do it. Score that a 4-1. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We played 3-1 Yanks. Next corporate event, cocktail party, birthday party, and much more. For more information on how to book your next private event at NYY Steak, please contact Mary Gerges at 646-977-8041, or you can log on to nyysteak.com. It's a different world, John Flaherty, when Paul O'Neill's around.
It's amazing. I've noticed the last couple of nights.
Don't even give it to me. Look at this. I mean, they sent, like, I got anything to do with this.
You have total juice. When you're here, people want to make you happy. Everybody else, it doesn't matter.
Extra pizza last night. NYY steak tonight.
Nice little, you know, it just said on the, wow.
That's ahi tuna tartare. This tomato and mozzarella salad. You got a 26-ounce long bone ribeye.
Now you sound like a maitre d', man. What are you doing?
20-ounce New York strip. Sesame crusted ahi tuna. Tuna.
Are you
That's
from
a New
Australia?
Yorker. That one is foul. And NYY Steaks surf and turf, au gratin potatoes, and a double-layer carrot cake.
All right, so let's go through this menu. What are the things you don't eat half of the food in the world? What do you eat?
All right, I'll take the steak right there.
I know you'll take this.
No, I don't like carrot cake. No, that's all yours.
All right.
Hot shot right at Cano, and Ramon Santiago
definitely made this trip complete. Thank you very much for.
Look, they even carved the bone out for you, Paul.
That's awesome.
Oh, there's that mozzarella.
I hope my wife's not watching, because I come home and complain about, she goes out to a nice dinner and we're getting nothing up here, and then I hope she's not watching this.
You're going to take it to NYY Steak. Here's Ryan Rayburn. And there's a strike. 3-1 Yankees. Need a couple of innings off now, Paul?
I was wondering if he probably would miss me, right? If I went back there and tied into a little bit.
Definitely would miss you.
This kind of reminds me of last night. I mean, all of a sudden, the first couple innings, you throw a bunch of runs up, and then all of a sudden it kind of settles down for a while, and you just kind of wait to see, which team is going to make the next break.
Tell you what, very quietly, Mosley, and they gave up that big home run to Cabrera, but a pitch count in great shape, throwing a lot of strikes, looking comfortable, rebounding from his last start.
Got away with one there. That ball ran back out over the middle of the plate, but again, it had movement. The ball's moving. The ball's supposed to be away and ends up running right back over. You see a little more than an average swing right there.
And the 1-2 inside, 2-2.
I always tell that hesitation with the pitcher where they want to pitch, and right there that ball's borderline inside.
And the count 3-2.
Paul, you face a guy like Mosley, and you just can't get big off him. Even here, a 3-2 count, with Rayburn, you're thinking, I might get really a pitch to lean on, but it's probably going to have a little sink. It might have a little cut. Could be a changeup. A lot of thoughts going through your mind as a hitter. Sinker.
See that guy right there? That is the new Rutgers basketball coach, Mike Rice. That's his wife Carrie and his daughter Katie and his son Michael. Coached at Robert Morris before getting the Rutgers job, and happens to be a Fordham alum. That one's fouled back and out of play.
See, that explains it all. Fordham alumni will get on this telecast at some point, Paul.
Right.
Or if you have a sign that says my name on it. Those are the things that get you on.
Does it?
Yeah.
It's funny when people are shown on TV, it's just a matter of time for somebody texts them, and then they start reading the phone, and then they know they're on TV now.
Swing and a miss. Rayburn down on strikes. Yep, they got the call.
There it is. Doesn't take long. I got a son who plays basketball. You listening to me? He's a little point guard. He could shoot the lights out.
And the pitch to Miguel Cabrera is a strike. Cabrera with a long home run is first time up, leading off the second. 29 homers on the year. MVP type of season.
Oh, absolutely. And this is the type of the game, you're up 2 runs, you're going to get to see Cabrera swing the bat. I mean, there's no way to pitch around him. I mean, you're ahead in the game, and you saw his first at bat. I mean, you're going to pitch to him, and you see what happens when, he gets a hold of one.
Well, we've seen 4 pitches, 3 fastballs, and a little cutter on the outside half. It does have the home run. Mosley not shying away. That's why I kind of think I like Mosley a lot, Paul. He's not afraid to throw it over the plate.
That one is driven deep to right field. Going back, Kearns looking up. See ya. Another home run for Cabrera. And the Yankee lead is 3-2.
I tell you, you're just getting a look at, one of the better hitters in baseball. And you see why is because he can reach right field. He can reach left field. I mean, that's an 0-2 pitch, not leaning out. Just put a good swing on it. Just a great hitter with unbelievable power.
Get a look and see where this pitch ends up. Posada setting up off the plate. Little cutter. He hits this down and away with outstanding plate coverage, and that's not a cheapie. That's a legitimate home run.
Yeah, again, this ballpark right here would fit him to a T. I mean, right field is just so reachable for him, and you saw when he pulls the ball, no ballpark can hold it.
His 30th home run of the year. That 4 straight years of 30-plus home run for Cabrera. Obviously, this is August 18th, so he's far from done. He might hit 40. Crowd cheering as the fans threw the ball back out on the field. 18th career multi-home run game for Cabrera.
See, that ball got a little bit of the plate. A breaking ball or a cutter that he was trying to run back out over the outside corner. And when it reaches a little bit of the white of that plate, it becomes a home run up for Cabrera.
Damon slaps one the other way. And that ball snared.
That was T-Rock. Did you see the game when I was here when T-Rock made the play of the day? Oh, just outstretched. It caught his hat with the other hand, ended up on ESPN that night. It was one of the top 10 plays.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Damon. And a count 3-2. Here's that play.
Watch this. Just out of nowhere. Outstretched, catch like it's nothing. Look at that play. The day T-Rock became a star.
And Johnny Damon works a walk. And working with pitchers, John, when somebody hits a home run like that, now he's victimized him twice. How tough is it not to be affected by it to the next batter?
Oh, you're definitely going to be. Well, you're talking Johnny Damon.
Yeah.
You're affected by it, but like I just mentioned before that home run, what you love about Mosley is he'll throw the ball over the plate. He didn't miss by much there. Just missed with a 3-2 breaking ball.
Okay, let's say he's in there when Cabrera comes up again. How does he go after him then? He's tried a couple of ways.
Tried inside, you tried down and away, and I just think at this point you pitch off the plate, and if he wants to expand the strike zone, you let him. We talked about it with CC last night. Don't let Cabrera beat you. At this point, Dustin Mosley has probably seen enough.
And also the way the Tiger lineup is constructed tonight, there's not that much protection because Johnny only has 7 home runs. So if you walk Cabrera in front of him, Johnny might double him in maybe if you don't make your pitch, but you're not going to get punished. Early in the year when they played the Rays, Joe Madden, the Rays manager, actually walked him to load the bases.
It's a Buck Showball.
Yeah, he's not afraid to do some different things there in Tampa.
Swung on a miss, runner goes, and Damon with a stolen base.
Tell you what, though, this is the best I've seen Jorge Posada throw in a long time. The ball coming out of his hand in good shape, gets some good carry. Damon gets a decent jump. Be his 8th stolen base of the year, but a pretty good throw and a tough pitch to throw on, down and away. Like a good call.
Count 2-2. Stolen base for Johnny Damon. 382 for his career.
Good over. Johnny Damon has compiled some pretty impressive stats over his career. Hits-wise, runs scored, stolen bases.
Ground ball right side. Grabbed there by Teixeira. He leads Mosley, and that'll do it. But the Tigers score a run on the Cabrera home run. He has 2 home runs on the day. Both Tiger runs. Inside pitch, he drives to left field. Outside pitch, he drives to right. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 3-2 Yanks. First pitch to Curtis Granderson is low. No, they call it a strike count, 0-1. Granderson, Kearns, and Pena against Bonderman. Count 1-1. Grounded softly to first. Cabrera steps on the bag, 1 away. Time for the answer to the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz. Jeremy Bonderman made his first start against the Yankees on June 1st in 03, a game that turned into a 17-inning marathon. What Yankees pitcher picked up the win in relief? And the answer is David Wells, 5 2/3 innings in relief.
It's like a trick question. That's a starter that's coming in relief in a 17-inning game. Boomer Wells.
And we get word that John Flaherty did not play in that game. Posada caught all 17 innings and hit the game-winning home run.
What date was that game? In June? Wow. I had a couple of months to make an impression on Joe Torre, and obviously the impression I made was not very good. I couldn't even get in a 17-inning game.
Yeah, but he hit a game-winning home run in the 17th.
So he's a smart manager, huh?
So in other words, if he would have come in the 16th, we might still be playing. Is that what you're saying?
Wow.
Huh?
Wow.
It's been a long 2.5 games already, hasn't it, Michael?
I'm telling you, if it wasn't for the food. Here's the 1-1. Count 2-1.
The only thing Feist missed when he came to play with the Yankees is he didn't get to call games and get me out. It was like I could tell when I walked to the plate, Feist loved to get me out.
Loved it.
Absolutely just dug in back there.
I love preparing the umpires. Don't let O'Neill get you tonight.
Swing and a miss with the bat going to the backstop.
You see some different swings from the Yankees here in the 4th inning against Bonderman, throwing some change-ups, a little better slider. Settled down after that rough first inning.
Gene Lamont and Jim Leland right there. I mean, those guys have been through a lot of baseball together all the way back into Pittsburgh. Leland was the manager with the Pirates. I was actually talking to Jim Leland today about the 1990 playoff we had when I was with the Reds against the Pirates. One of the better playoffs I ever was a part of. And I tell you what, back then it was before the wild card and everything. He had one big series, and that was a good one.
2-2. Missed outside. Bonderman wanted that one.
He's not getting off the plate. He's been getting up in the zone. Eric Cooper not going to give him off the plate away. It's out.
And Austin Kearns walks. This moment in Yankees history brought to you by Johnny Walker. We go back to 1983. The Pine Tar game resumed with Ron Guidry starting at center and Don Mattingly at second base for the final out of the top of the ninth. Dan Quisenberry retires the Yankees in order, and they lose 5-4. Demand greatness in every sip and every season. Johnny Walker, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees. Billy Martin was protesting in his own way. That's why he had a left-handed Mattingly playing second, and Roy Smalley there, and Greg Nettles, Winfield in left, and Ron Guidry in center.
Look at this. I mean, Cap's got number 46 on his back there. I didn't know that.
That was the initial,
huh?
Yeah, that was his first number.
Wow.
Walked in the second inning.
Flash, you ever play any other positions other than catcher?
A couple innings of first base, gave Jason Giambi.
I mean, in the minor leagues, you never...
Third base.
Third base?
Third base a little bit. Not a whole lot.
The 1-0. 2-0.
Put it this way, catching was the best spot for me. Slow, couldn't hit a whole lot. Call a game, throw somebody out. Hang around for a few years.
That one is ripped into right center. It's a base hit. It's going to split the outfielders. It's going to roll the wall. Kearns rounds third. He'll score. Peña's going for three. A stand-up RBI triple. And the Yankees lead 4-2.
Every once in a while, as a hitter, you hit against the scouting report. And the scouting report right there, we're going to see after a while. But this ball is up in the zone, and he drills it to right center field. And you see the defense. There's absolutely nobody out here. Played Peña to go the other way. And as a pitcher, sometimes that hurts you. That ball got up. Peña put a good swing on it. You see absolutely nobody out in right center field.
Infield is in with Gardner at the plate. Bonderman from the full windup. There's a line drive left field. It's a base hit. That's going to split the outfielders. Kearns or Jackson cuts it off and holds Gardner to a double and an RBI, and the Yankees lead 5-2.
Got to feel good for Brett Gardner, who got hit by a pitch leading off the game for the Yankees. Infield was drawn in. He gets a pitch up and just slaps it the other way. It's going to be an RBI double. I was mentioning Bonderman was getting some funny swings from the Yankees. Now all of a sudden that slider and that fastball flattened out a little bit. Ramiro Peña takes advantage, as well as Brett Gardner.
Here's Jeter. He's 0 for 2 tonight. And a pitch inside.
Well, Flash, we were just talking in that 3-1 game. You just kind of waiting to see what team's going to break through for. Well, it's been the Yankees in this inning, and you're right. He's missed with a couple pitches. That sinker kind of flattened out and just tailed. And completely different pitch to hit, especially for a left-handed hitter.
Grounded to third. Inge gets Jeter for the second out as Gardner stays put at second.
Derek, his last two at-bats kind of pulling open a little bit on that little cutter. Ground ball to short, now a ground ball to third. Unusual to see this front hip and everything pull out this way for Derek Jeter, usually driving the ball back up the middle, rolling right over the top.
Here's Teixeira, home run and a double. And the count 1-0. And the count 2-0. Left-hander throwing in the Tigers bullpen. And it's Brad Thomas. 3 lefties, 5 righties for the Tigers in their pen. The 2-0. And the count 3-0.
A little cutter maybe down. Mark Teixeira just sweeps it out of here into the second deck. For number 27.
Hot shot, and off the glove of Cabrera, trickling in the right. The throw gets by everybody. Here comes Gardner. He will score. Teixeira moves to second, and the Yankees lead 6-2 as the Tigers get sloppy.
Brett Gardner's speed. Start thinking even with Cabrera knocking this ball down, he had a chance to score from second base. See, it's a hot shot on Yesmo. Heats up Cabrera, ends up in short right field. Santiago comes up thinking that Bonderman's going to be at first base. He is not. The catcher, Avila, tries to make the play, and Brett Gardner will score easily.
See it, they give Mark a base hit. An error has to be scored. Bonderman late getting over there. So Santiago's probably going to get an error, and that's going to allow Gardner to score because Gardner had stopped at third.
Gardner's moving on the ball, but then, you know, you're going to use your third base coach here. Now you read it. Now you see that there's nobody back. Easy run score. Again, the key to that play was Bonderman coming off the mound and hesitating. If he gets to first base, I don't think he gets to Teixeira, but the ball's probably caught. And you've got first and third instead of Gardner scoring and man on second.
No base hit for Teixeira. It's an E3. He reaches on an E4, allows the run to score.
That's a tough error. Absolutely. Whistled it. I mean, it's too hot to handle for Cabrera. And again, I don't know if that throw would have got him at first base anyway.
Now 82 errors for the Tigers this year. Twins are best in the American League with 47, unless they committed one yesterday. But it led the American League with 47. One up, 48 now. And the Yankees are second. So 82 for the Tigers. Yankees have 53, Twins have 49. Driven into right center. Rayburn is there, and he'll make the play. But the Yankees get 3 runs on 2 hits, 2 big errors, and 1 man left. We played 4 here at the stadium. Yankees are up 6-2. And Dustin Mosley deals to Brandon Inge for a strike. The Kia scoreboard shows you 6-5-0, leading 2-4-2. Count 1-1. Now you see this up here, right? That's called the bug. So we want to wish our scoreboard bug operator, Pete Lombardi, the best of luck. Today is his last day, and he's going to go back to Ithaca College, where he's a senior. So good luck to Pete Lombardi. He's done a great job with the bug. He's got the score right there.
Who's taking the bug over?
I think that's your job now. Yeah. As Brandon Inge is down looking.
I mean, minus a bug if it's up to me.
There's the bug. Gone.
Pete going back for his senior year. You get much better than that.
Starting to notice how things just, you watch your kids, things start going a little quicker. They get through high school quick, college goes quick. It only means one thing, Michael, we're getting old.
Full speed ahead into the light.
Oh, you look young today. You get your hair cut. I heard Kim Jones compliment you back there.
That's rare. Huh? She doesn't do that often.
Somebody told my wife yesterday, this is going to shock you, at Nordstrom's, they told her, I love your husband's new hippie haircut. He's grown it longer. They love my fro when I showed up.
You got a little welcome back Cotter worker.
I forgot to get a haircut. It's 4 days away, you know. You're all set to go, though.
Here's the 1-1. Count 1-2. There's that hippie haircut.
That looked like a hippie, don't it? Huh?
It's longer than when you played.
You know, there's something about this high def I really don't like. You know, when you look in the prompter there.
The pitch is low. 2-2. You know, HD is brought to you free by IOTV.
Free. We talked about it before. There's not much in life free. But this is free.
And the 3-2. Missed inside, so Avila walks.
Looks like he just got a few runs, had a big inning before. You'd love to see him go out, throw out that zero, get their offense right back up to the plate. You saw some of the body language last inning from Bonnerman, a little frustrated. Get him back out on the mound, you never know.
Pitch to Don Kelly is low. Wow, do you want to hear this, Paul? Just got a text from Bob Loren. Should I do it, John?
Of course.
He said, is Paul O'Neill's hair part of the line of Chia Pet products?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
All the way from the studio. He's not even here.
He must be alone there tonight. Jack Curry with him?
No, Jack's not with him? No.
See?
Too much time on his hands.
That's right. I'm glad we got a post game in there.
That's the first time you've ever said that.
I know. I almost caught myself in the middle of it.
Kelly popped up to second. That was in the third. And the 1-1. Count 2-1.
Flash, I know you told me before the game you liked it, and he just looks like he's under control. Doesn't look like anything's in a hurry. Looks like, and even after a walk, it is just signal everything's kind of under control.
You just get the feel you got one out here. You almost feel like you can drop a little sinker in there, maybe a cutter, get a ground ball for a double play, and you know, you always put yourself behind the play and say, how would I try to call a game for this guy? There's a lot of options there. If you're Jorge Posada, strike throwing machine.
That one is driven deep to right field. Going back, Kearns the wall. See ya. A 2-run home run for Don Kelly. And the Tigers right back in it. The Yankees lead 6-4.
Well, Flash, you said it. I mean, the two-sinker might get you out of the inning. Well, this was a curveball that laid out over the middle of the plate. He'll also open the phone booth over there. Just kind of hung there. Again, it's a good night for hitters. Ball's carrying.
You saw where Jorge Posada was setting down and in, and that ball kind of swung in or stayed in the middle. You see on the yes-mo out of the reach of Kearns. Jorge looking for that curveball down and in off the plate, and it kind of just spun there middle. Happy zone for any left-handed hitter.
There's a strike to Austin Jackson. Jackson infield single in the first and a fly ball to right in the third. Now Mosley has allowed 7 home runs over his last 4 starts, which is a negative byproduct to the fact that he does pound the zone. He's going to throw strikes, and sometimes you're going to throw strikes and they're going to get hit out.
This Austin Jackson, I've done a lot of thinking with him because he's still a 300 hitter. We've talked about how many strikeouts he has, and I'm trying to figure out how he gets in these counts all the time. Is he taking too many pitches? Is he swinging through too many pitches? As a leadoff hitter, obviously you want to see some pitches and things like that. But he's a young hitter. But obviously, how do you get to the point of striking out that many times? Are you fouling the pitches off? Are you missing them? Are you just looking for too good a pitch and getting yourself behind?
Right back to Mosley for the second out.
That thing's called the bug. What was that thing that just popped up on the right?
An icon.
An icon? You know all this stuff, don't you?
Yes, I do. Pitch to Santiago is low. Time is called. Watch this. This is a little pressure, Paul. Guys, can you put the graphic in now, please?
Wow. That sounds like we're at a home theater when that comes on. It's pretty cool.
The 1-0. 2-0.
Johnny Davis still sporting that do, huh?
More like a dome.
Did you think of that when you went into the barbershop today?
Not even for 1 second.
Be a good look for you. Well, Flash, the Yankees came through for 3 at the bottom of the last inning. All of a sudden, you give 2 back.
Drifting back, Gardner. And he'll make the play, and that's going to do it. 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. That 1 hit on the bat of Don Kelly off the 2-2 count goes into the seats just over the try of Austin Kearns. We're halfway through. Yankees up by 2. Welcome back to Yankee Stadium. Nice look at Gate 4. That's where you walk right in the middle. Bottom of the 5th inning, Nick Swisher leads off. And Dave Island is on the phone. On the Kia Motors scoreboard, 6-4. Yankees lead the Tigers. Popped up. Don Kelly makes the play. That was really up there. And there's one away. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit Kia.com. And by Blimpie, America's sub shop.
It's amazing how a 2-run home run changes a ball game. Now all of a sudden Bonderman's out there thinking, I got a chance if I could throw up a 0 in this inning. We've got 3 in the 4th. It was a 6-2 game. Now all of a sudden 6-4, new life. See if he takes advantage of it.
Here's Posada. Yankees started the day in a flat-footed tie with the Rays for first place in the East, and they have already won. They won this afternoon, finishing the sweep of Texas. 8-6 today. Evan Longoria with 4 RBIs. And in Boston, the Angels and the Red Sox tied at 2 in the 5th.
Talk about Mosley giving up some home runs in his last start. And Flash, I don't know that, I mean, obviously you've seen it. It's that sinker every once in a while doesn't have that downward sink. It kind of tails. And when that ball tails, you know, it doesn't leave the barrel of the bat. It doesn't stay on the ground. And then that's where those home runs start popping up.
Don Kelly got that rolling curveball down middle. Just an easy pitch if you make a mistake for a left-handed hitter. I haven't seen too many changeups from Mosley. I don't know if we're going to get an opportunity to see him come out for the 6th inning. He's been a pretty good weapon in some of his starts. Really didn't see it a whole lot tonight.
Jabba warming up here in the 6th inning to pitch the 6th. Posada to count 2-2. Here's an interesting note. Posada celebrated his 39th birthday yesterday. He became the first Yankee to catch a game at age 39 or older since Bill Dickey. And Bill Dickey caught his last game 6 days after his 39th birthday. So Posada will be the oldest man to ever catch a game for the Yankees. Now, he's also stolen 2 bases in his last 4 games. And he has not been caught in his last 10 attempts since August 2004. That is a hot shot to right field, and Rayburn right there. And that's the longest current streak of any Yankee player. So Jorge's showing some speed. Tomorrow afternoon, the Bombers close out this series with the Tigers right here in the Bronx. Complete coverage starts at 12:30 with the Tri-State 4 pregame. And John, Paul, George, Ringo, and I are back to bring you all the action. Tigers, Yankees tomorrow at 12:30 only on Yes.
I'm playing drums. I hope you're not singing.
I might. Here's Granderson. You think Posada has any idea that he has 10 straight stolen bases?
Oh, of course he does. I'll tell you one thing. It's all in the jump for Jorge. He didn't even draw a throw last night.
Element of surprise.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm more impressed with the 39 years old. And, you know, you think back, Paul, and you came up a little bit before. If you were 32 or 33, you were done behind the plate. See him still doing it at 39.
Oh, has a great attitude. I mean, I still enjoy talking to him on the field. He hasn't. As you get older, sometimes you lose your fire a little bit. Jorge hasn't. I mean, he still loves to compete, still loves to win. And, you know, I'm not obviously in the locker room like I was in the past, but I guarantee he's still a big part of the meetings, a big part of what goes on with his team. Jorge Posada has been one of those guys for a long time for the New York Yankees.
3-1 to Granderson. That one's driven deep to right. Going back, Rayburn looking up. See ya! Home run, Granderson. Yankees get a run back. They lead 7-4. Granderson showing off against his old team.
Paul, you said it on one of the post games recently. You probably haven't been able to say it all year, but this guy is now the hottest hitter for the New York Yankees. Made some of those adjustments in Kansas City. Swings a little shorter, able to get on top. 13th home run of the year. It's got to be fun coming to the park if you're Curtis Granderson these days.
5th home run of this game. 3 by the Yankees, 2.
And the elbow in, and that barrel gets out to that ball quick. And you just hope that, you know, this little change, this shot in the arm of playing the team that you were with last year. You want to prove them wrong, and has really put him in a good mode.
Austin Kearns flies out. By the way, it's the 6th home run, 3 for the Yankees and 3 for the Tigers. Curtis Granderson goes yard, 7-4 Bombers. The most historic walk-off home run in baseball history. You've been texting us at 58772, and here's how you voted. Overwhelmingly, yes, 62%. Now, there have been other walk-off home runs. Joe Carter.
Joe Carter's the only one I can think of.
Bill Mazeroski, which was a huge one. Aaron Boone. Kirk Gibson. But
Chris Chambliss had a big one.
Chris Chambliss, yep, against Mark Littell. Well, Joe Girardi makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T, Rethink Possible. And a very early entrance for Jabba Chamberlain as he takes over for Dustin Mosley.
Talk to me, Flash. What are we seeing here? Did Mosley wasn't pitches? Do you just feel like, he's that confident in the bullpen that he's going to realize down the stretch he's going to have to win games with his bullpen?
Well, we're seeing Jabba in a different role, but I think the man on deck has a lot to do with it. 2 for 2 with 2 home runs off of Mosley, so you bring in a new arm. You also had a home run off of Jabba the other night, so we'll see if that changes.
Swing and a miss.
You know what, Paul? I guess it comes down to, if you think about a number 5 guy in a rotation, you get 5 innings out of him, you give up 4 runs, probably not real happy about it, but you have a lead, you take it. Sure.
And you're at a point now where the Yankees weren't last year. You're at a point where you're tied, where you're actually a half a game back right now as we speak. You've got to battle and win every single game that you can win right now. You've got to add up numbers. And you don't have the luxury of having that 5, 7, 8 game lead where you can stretch guys out and kind of test them and learn them as a manager. But every single game is important.
Now, the Yankees don't feel much trepidation going to the bullpen. Why? Because in the last 21 games, the bullpen has thrown to a 1.13 ERA. And there are some reinforcements on the way. You've got Marte coming back. You've got Aceves eventually coming back. That one is driven deep to left field. Going back, Gardner turning, and it's off the base of the wall. Rayburn's going for 2. He's going to make it. Strong throw by Gardner, making it close. But Rayburn leads off with a double here in the 6th.
Well, not the way you want to be greeted from the bullpen. You see Jabba Chamberlain, kind of a hanging curveball, didn't quite make it out. Not a sharp break, but this is a one-time flash. sure you did it also. You're actually disappointed when you hit a double. You think you got it off the plate. A little late getting to second, too. Ball off the bat, you think that's a home run, and all of a sudden, oh, man, to hit the wall.
Kicking in another gear.
Doubles are great, but home runs are even better.
Cabrera has 2 of them, but that one he grounds to Jeter. So they finally retire Cabrera after 2 home runs, 1 away.
Well, you saw a little different pitch there to Cabrera. That job, he hit him to slider off the plate. And this was actually a mistake. He was going away with a fastball. Get fooled Cabrera, too.
Damon takes high.
Watch Damon walk up there. You got a 7-4 ball game, and Johnny Damon had a couple of nice years, a big year last year in this stadium. Keep the ball away from him. You don't want to give him that opportunity to sweep one into the seats in right field. You throw a slider, make sure it's down and in off the plate.
Fastball there, got a lot of the plate. You look at that last at bat, and a lot of people say, that's just not a good piece of hitting. Cabrera didn't even move the runner over, but you've got one guy in this lineup that's absolutely doing everything for you offensively. You don't take the bat out of his hands and tell him to move that runner over. You try to get a pitch and try to hit another home run. So there are certain times where the manager, I can remember in the past, Joe Torre would whistle or something at the plate and say, hey, drive this guy in. Don't worry about getting him over. The managers know where their offense is coming from.
One-two. Bounced up there.
Told him to throw it down and in off the plate. It's a little lower than I thought. You're Jorge Posada. You're thinking, don't make a mistake with the slider down and in. It's blocked.
That might have been a 51-foot pitch.
I was going to say that's Little League right there, about 45 feet.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Well, let's see how he went after Johnny Damon, and the pitch-by-pitch brought to you by Suzuki Kazashi.
He starts him off with a fastball away. Johnny Damon had a pitch right there, fastball right down the middle. Check swing there, but there's the dangerous one to get past. But then he came back with the one he was trying to throw. Gets a strikeout, break the ball down and in.
Here's Johnny Peralta.
Seldom do you see at bats, and I've said it over and over again, when you strike out that you can't go back on tape and see a good pitch to hit. He took a fastball right down the middle of the plate and ended up swinging the ball down the dirt. But, that's baseball. It's, you go up there, you get certain things in your mind. All of a sudden, you'll freeze on a pitch right down the middle.
Fly ball down the right field line, giving chase Austin Kearns, and makes the seats out of play. The 1-1. Fly ball shallow center. Late jump for Granderson. Did he make the play? Yes, he made the play for the final out of the 6th inning. Granderson was frozen and then comes in, and right off the grass, he makes the play for the final out as the Tigers waste the leadoff double. TV, internet, and phone. It's time for Fios. The youngster had such a great rookie season last year, struggling this year. Rick Porcello will go up against Phil Hughes. Porcello from Jersey, 5-10, 5.530. Phil Hughes, 14-5, 3.94. Please note the starting time. It's a Thursday matinee, so we'll come on the air at 12:30 on Yes, and 1:07 will be first pitch.
Porcello actually had to go to the minor leagues for about 5 starts. Worked on his secondary pitches, so he's throwing the ball a lot better.
Worked for Scherzer.
Yeah.
We talked about it. You go to Toledo, Ohio for a couple tune-up starts. You come back here throwing pretty well.
Brad Thomas takes over as Jeremy Bonderman's night is over. So Thomas will face Pena, Gardner, and Jeter. Pena has walked and tripled in a run. Also scored. Fouled away.
As you hear me say this all the time, if you're a bench guy, you know you're not going to get a lot of hits. You're not going to get a lot of opportunities. You want them to be the big hits, a triple, an RBI, a sacrifice fly last night. Getting some reps now. Alex Rodriguez with the calf problem.
You know what you want off your bench guys that you're describing, the guys that don't play a lot is a great attitude. And every day you walk on the field, walk in the clubhouse, you look at Pena, he's got a smile on his face. Happy to be here, works hard in infield and batting practice. And, you know, he deserves to have some big hits and big games. I mean, that's what you look for in your bench players.
You know, I look up at the scoreboard, 215 batting average. That doesn't impress you. 23 hits, but 15 RBIs on 23 hits. You take that.
And the Yankees have gotten themselves into a situation. Their everyday players are so just that. They play every day. That Brian Cashman has been quoted as saying that it's very difficult to sign veteran bench guys during the offseason because nobody wants to play because they don't think they're going to get the bats that they'll need to get a job the next year after that.
It's so different than it was in the the mid-'90s when we had guys like Randy Velarde and Mike Stanley. They had good years and weren't everyday players.
Come home to Yankee Stadium in 2010 to see the 27-time world champion New York Yankees in action. This Saturday, August 21st, the Yankees take on the Mariners, and it's Collectible Truck Day. First 18,000 fans 14 and younger receive a Yankees collectible truck, the 6th in a series, courtesy of WB Mason. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. You can visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or you can call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849.
In the truck that day, Michael?
Yep.
Really? I was kind of thinking that as a wedding gift or something. Wrap up a little truck. That won't do it?
I'm registered at many of your major banks. The 0-1. That one is laced into center field. Jackson's there. Two-way. Just know this one thing, Paul. When you come to the wedding, don't bring anything wrapped. It should be in an envelope, and then you'll be fine.
One thing I do want to know is, what do we eat? You don't eat anything. There's no soup. There's no pork. What are we eating?
Well, there'll be food there that I don't eat. Don't worry about it.
No bananas, that's for sure. I've seen you eat pizzas. We might be getting Domino's, I guess. Huh?
There's a chance. Here's Derek Jeter, 0 for 3 tonight. Tipped into the glove of Avila, and the count 0-1. Jeter struck out in the first, grounded to short in the third, and grounded to third in the fourth.
He's pulled off tonight, and it's so noticeable when Derek does it because he usually never does. We'll see if he can get back on track a little right field, maybe up the middle.
Count 1-1. Count 2-1.
It's amazing how quick things turn. I mean, 2 days ago, we're talking about the Yankee offense. They've been shut out. Last night, you beat up on Verlander, one of the top starters in the American League. Tonight, you come out, first 6 innings, you've thrown up 7 runs. It's a big home run. So
slow roller in front of the plate. Thomas just gets Jeter. Final out of a 1-2-3 inning.
I got a feeling we're going to see this on Yesmo. What do you think?
There's a good chance as the Yankees go down in order, but we'll wait till we come back. Thomas fires to first. Wow. Great partnerships are built on trust at GE Capital. We prove that every day. So here's the partnership between Thomas and Cabrera. Did they get him? I can't tell from there, but I'm sure we'll go even slower. Can you call it from here, Paul?
Still tough there. You know, Cabrera doesn't even know. He's looking, we're going to tell now. I'm going for at least a tie, and Derek Jeter's safe.
I agree. How about you, John? Tiebreaker.
Tie goes to the runner.
Jeter thought so, too. That was really close, though. I mean, we had to take 3 looks at it, so you can't really jump on Chad Fairchild, but that was very close. We go to the 7th. Yankees lead 7-4. And there's a new pitcher. You have Verizon wireless scoreboard. 760 leads 4-6-2. Boone Logan, who's done so well for the Yankees. He'll face the bottom of the order, starting with Brandon Edge. Last 12 outings for Boone Logan, 8 2/3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts. His overall numbers are very, very good.
The biggest number you just mentioned, 1 walkover, was at 9 outings?
Yep. 12 outings. 8 2/3 innings.
That's been the difference for Logan. I mean, since he's gone down to AAA, kind of came back, is pounding the strike zone, mid-90s, good slider. Just a lot of confidence now. You can tell by his body language out on the mound.
Hot shot, base hit. I have a question for you, John. This might fall under the conundrum category. What happens if when Marte comes back?
This is weird.
Is that what you think?
I almost said the same thing right before you said it.
Great minds.
Huh?
Great minds think alike.
I'm sitting way too close to you. You know that?
I've seen Boone Logan do it for too long now. I mean, if you're Marte, you got to come back and show Joe Girardi and Dave Island, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I think Boone Logan keeps his job. Obviously, you're going to get Marte some opportunities, and if he pitches his way back into that position, fine. But sets up for a pretty good problem having two good lefties out there.
So opportunities in the middle of the ball game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I don't think you step back if you're Boone Logan. You've thrown the ball too well.
Yeah.
But what if Marte's ready to come off before they expand rosters? Well, what do you do? Who loses their job?
Boone Logan's not losing his job.
You ever see the four-corner stall?
Yeah, he probably won't be ready before September 1st. And that gives them another 30 days who's going to be on a postseason roster. And maybe you carry two lefties. A lot of teams love to have two lefties.
Of course.
Depending on who you're going to play. I mean, you face a team that's, say you face Minnesota, who's, some of their top hitters are left-handed hitters. I absolutely would carry two lefties.
Count 1-1. Swing and a miss by Avila. Marte did not pitch well in the regular season last year, 30 games, or this year, 30 games, 4.08. Last year, he struggled and was on the DL a lot. But boy, he was arguably one of the most valuable players of all three playoff series. He was lights out and a big reason why the Yankees won their championship. Ryan Howard came up. You knew that Marte was going to be there. And so many lefties on the Phillies. He was such a big part of that.
And that's where, the Philadelphia Phillies have, Ryan Howard and Utley and guys that, they're going to hit everyday lefties. But, Marte doesn't have everyday lefty stuff. Sabathia doesn't have that kind of stuff. Pettit. Those are elite left-handers that absolutely shut down. Other than the big game that Utley had against CeCe, they just shut down their left-handed hitters.
The 2-2. Breaking ball, strike three. Avila down looking. Traveling this season, take the Yankees with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere.
Looked like a slider is supposed to be away, and it comes across the inside corner. Home plate umpire Eric Cooper makes the call. You see spin, Paul. You think it's going away, and it just stayed right there.
Here's Don Kelly, another lefty. The Tigers only carry three guys on their bench, three position players, and one right-hander, and that right-hander is their other catcher. So you can't pinch hit right here. The other two guys on the bench are lefties, Brendan Bosch and Will Rhymes, who was called up today, replacing Guillen, who won on the DL. So Leland's somewhat limited in the moves that he can make.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. Three left-handers, five right-handers. That adds up to 8 in the bullpen. I mean, that's a long bullpen.
Count 2-0 to Kelly. Left-handers just 8 for 47 against Boone Logan this year. That's 170. And just one extra base hit of those 8 hits. He's a guy who took a trip down to the minor leagues and changed the way he pitched. He was much more aggressive in the zone when he came back. Bunted, third base side. And that's a base hit. Perfect bunt for Don Kelly. Hit a home run last time up and goes for a bunt this time.
And again, bunting off a lefty, a drag bunt, is not an easy thing to do. I mean, hitting lefties, you've got to stay in there. And to bunt, your natural reaction is kind of open up and run too quick. He stayed in there. Absolutely perfect bunt.
Well, Joe Girardi's going to go to a right-hander now with runners on first and second. That brings Austin Jackson up as the tying run. Stay here. And by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. Yankees lead this one 7-4. Teixeira and Cano back-to-back home runs in the first inning. Teixeira's was a 2-run shot. Cabrera has 2 solo home runs for the Tigers, and Curtis Granderson has a solo home run as well. Don Kelly, a 2-run home run for the Tigers, so 6 home runs in this game, and it's 7-4 Yankees, and the Tigers are threatening here in the 7th. They have 2 on and 1 out. Austin Jackson now against Kerry Wood. So Chamberlain pitched a scoreless 6. Boone Logan in the 7th, and now Kerry Wood in relief of Logan. Pitches outside. Wood's last 5 games, 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 4 walks too many, and 6 strikeouts. Those are the numbers combined with the Yankees and the Indians. Yankees got him in a deadline deal from Cleveland. He still has some life on that fastball, and the count 1-1.
Well, he seems to be getting better and better every time out. Even when he's missing, you mentioned the walks maybe a little bit too high, Michael, but he's not missing by much. I mean, he's right around the strike zone. Good fastball, nice cutter, and the big curveball for a strikeout pitch when he needs it. I like it. He stands out there and doesn't play any games. It's like, here you go. Right. You're either going to get me or I'm going to get you. His attitude seems to be just what the Yankees need in that bullpen. Come out there and attack the zone.
You know, as a hitter, every once in a while, you know, you go back, put your gloves back on, and you dig and you look out there, and that pitcher's already ready staring at you. It's a feeling like, you know, he believes he wants it. Yeah, he can get you out.
Line drive, left field, a base hit. Brandon Inge will stop at third as Gardner comes up throwing, and the Tigers have the bases loaded with 1 out.
Yeah, you can see a little frustration from Kerry Wood. I think he's going to be questioning pitch selection there. He threw some fastballs that beat Jackson, and then he wanted to go for the strikeout, throws a curveball, and it just kind of hangs middle, speeds the bat up of Austin Jackson and drives it into left field. He thrown some fastballs that pretty much beat him, decided to go with the curveball, and it didn't work.
There's Ramon Santiago.
Again, the Yankees have come up with 7 runs, and all of a sudden, you know, your base is loaded to get big out right here. I mean, you know, you get an out for a run here, fine, but base hit right here just opens this game wide open.
You always know where Cabrera is. Not on deck, he's in the hole.
One count on Santiago, who's 1 for 3 tonight. Bases loaded. That one is driven down the right field line, but it hooks foul. Angels lead Boston 5-4 now in the 6th inning.
You talk about his fastball and how much life it's got on it. You almost wonder if he can be that 1-inning pitcher where he can come in and just go after guys, man. You know, waste that curveball, or, you know, if you have a good curveball, obviously you can use it, but, you know, just not go away from that fastball right there. That little cut fastball on the outside corner.
2 away, Santiago down looking.
Can't do any better than this. A little backdoor cutter. A nice catch by Jorge Posada. Brings it back to the corner, gives Eric Cooper a good look. Yes, Mo, you're going to see a little flip of the wrist at the end. A little cut action on the fastball, a huge pitch.
Now you want to get Rayburn because the guy on deck is very dangerous. Miguel Cabrera. Rayburn is 1 for 3 tonight. Fouls it back. This is actually an interesting stat because we remember the Kerry Wood that struck out 20 as a Cub in one game. Wood's average fastball velocity this year is actually higher than any year in his career. And the only thing I can figure from that is that he threw so many breaking balls that brought the average down. But this is fastball velocity average, so I don't understand that.
Because a lot of his four seamers we saw early were 93, 94, but these last couple were 89. Those are cutters. They're not counted as fastball.
But also, Michael, going to the bullpen and throwing one inning, you're going to throw a little bit harder than as a starter trying to maintain that for 6 or 7.
Well, when he was a starter, John, with the Cubs, wasn't he at 96, 97?
Yeah, I thought so too.
Brian, you sure about that?
The 0-1. His average fastball velocity this year is 95.5, which is a very good station, WPLJ. And in 2004, it was 94. Weird. If Ryan says it, it's probably true.
Ford and graduate, it has to be true.
The 1-1. Rounded foul. 1-2.
So head in the count here to Rayburn. I mentioned Cabrera on deck. You do not want any part of the Tiger first baseman. Runners on base here in the 7th.
Crowd of 46,479. Looking for a strikeout from Kerry Wood. Bases loaded. 1-2. 2 outs. Yankees up by 3. And Wood steps off.
I was wondering, is the hitter flash? Is that the pitcher's just not ready, or they want to change the pitch selection right there?
Maybe change the pitch selection, have a little second thought about what you are going to throw. That maybe not the right pitch.
He struck him out. And he is pumped up as he works out of a jam. For the Tigers, no runs, 3 hits, no errors, and the bases are left loaded. Tailing fastball, maybe a cutter. And Rayburn swings through, and Wood is really in. Stadium. Yankees lead this one 7-4, but we stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
Thank you. Now take this rendition of God Bless America.
Thank you, Bob. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, 7-4 Yankees. And Now I'm just wondering, as you see the Verizon Wireless scoreboard, John, you wonder if being thrust in the middle of a pennant race after not having been there for so long, what that means to Kerry Wood and how it brings him up to another level possibly.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. You pitch in Cleveland for a team that's struggling, all of a sudden you come here, you got the fans excited. I love it, showing a little emotion after a big strikeout.
And he showed emotion for sure after that K. Teixeira grounds one foul.
We talked about it. I mean, there's just a number of arms out there, and you see one of the hotter guys out there, Robertson, warming up now. But Kerry Wood's throwing the ball well. Job is throwing the ball well. Boone Logan, it's just such a difference of what it was in April and May.
Just think about this ball game, and you don't know, we still got a lot of baseball to go here, but you shorten the game for a starting pitcher, 5 innings, and then you say, I can mix and match for 6 and 7, and then I feel good about Robertson in the 8th and maybe Mariano in the 9th. That's a luxury for a manager. You don't have to stretch out your starting pitcher.
Now, coming into tonight, we showed you this in our open. 20 games of 1.13 ERA and opponents hitting 171 against them. And with a guy like Mosley, you don't expect to get 8 innings out of him, so you know you're going to go to your bullpen. He only gave them 5 innings, so they got to get 12 outs from out in right center field. So far, so good. And Mark Teixeira continues his hot night. He's on base for the 4th time. He's 3 for 4. The other time he reached on an E3. So a single, a double, and a home run. Tonight, throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're asking you to vote along with us for the Chevy play of the game. Text your vote to 58772 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Today's candidates are number 1, Mark Teixeira, number 2, Robinson Cano, number 3, Miguel Cabrera, number 4, Brett Gardner. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. And Cano rips one into right field, but Rayburn is there, and he'll put it away. 1 down. So Mark Teixeira, who was hitless in his last 11 at-bats coming into this game, 3 for 4 tonight. And he is a triple away from the cycle. There's Nick Swisher. Nick is 0 for 3. That one is ripped down the right field line. It is a fair ball. It goes into the corner and bounces into the seats for a double. Tough break for the Yankees if it stays in the park. Teixeira probably scores.
Well, you talk about all the injuries, but one that you got to feel happy about is Nick Swisher. He played last night, got a big hit, drove in some runs. Tonight, swinging the bat well. Guy that if you can keep in the lineup is going to continue to help you.
Kind of talked about it last night with Nick Swisher. You know, maybe in a weird way, that injury kind of makes him let the ball travel. You got to go the other way a little bit more. You can't try to get big and pull. Irritate that elbow.
I still marvel at guys that can go up there, Swisher, Posada, switch hitters. That was so far away from being able to hit a major league pitcher right-handed, and I'm sure you were to go up there left-handed. It just seems impossible. But boy, it seemed like it'd make the game a lot of fun.
Well, they're going to take their chances with Granderson now as they intentionally walk Posada. Last time out, Granderson homer.
There's the infamous scouting report. Velocity. How many pitches does he throw? Where he likes to throw. What he likes to throw in pressure situations. It's all on paper. You just, as a hitter, I don't know if you always trust it. But this guy loves to go to this with men in scoring position. Then you go up there and you look for that and you don't get it. You know, it just drives you crazy.
Curtis now hitting .226 against lefties on the year, so that batting average starting to creep in the right direction if you're the Yankees.
How about this stat with the Yankees this year? With the bases loaded, they are 53 for 129. That's a .421 batting average as a team with the bases loaded. And they've also hit 9 grand slams.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. You see, Curtis Granderson had one of them June 8th. I always like to hit him on Utah Street. They just keep going, bouncing around out there against the warehouse. But, I mean, these are the at-bats when you're swinging the bat well that you love. I mean, you know he's comfortable at the plate now.
Last 7 games, he's on fire. 360, 3 homers, and 4 runs batted in. Teixeira's at third. Swisher's at second. And Posada at first. So after the conference on the mound, Brad Thomas will go up against Granderson. Three hits on Monday night. 2 great catches last night, both in the first inning. And a home run tonight.
Seems like we've had a lot of these at-bats tonight where guys with bases loaded or a man on third, 1 out, got an opportunity to really break the game open. And it seems so far the pitchers have made their pitches. Big opportunity for Granderson to really put this game out of reach.
Pitch outside, a 1-1.
See the Tigers shading Granderson a little bit the other way. Austin Jackson in center field, shading a little bit towards left center. We've seen Curtis all year be a pull hitter, a lot of room in right center. Thomas makes a mistake.
Count 1-2.
Like you talked about the other day, I haven't seen a center fielder all year really play as shallow as Jackson does. As he goes back well on the ball, you see a good pitch, a slider, cutter away, outside corner. Everything's been away. You see Jackson. This is the area that as a hitter you're really turned into an art piece, didn't it?
1-2. Swing and a miss. Granderson down on strikes. Now Jim Leland trying to keep it here at 7-4 is going to mix and match. He's going to bring in the right-hander to face Austin Kearns. So Kearns, who is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored tonight, he's going to come up with the bases loaded in 2 outs and trying to give the Yankees a bigger lead. Stay here. On the clearance, it's the only thing from Honda that won't last. by Lovaza and by Mazda. Zoom, zoom. Well, Enrique Gonzalez will face Austin Kearns. Now, it shows you that Lance Berkman's just not right. They said there was a possibility that he could pinch hit today. If he could pinch it, he'd pinch it here. But the righty will go up against the righty Gonzalez to see his numbers. Yankees have the lead and looking for more. Nice block there by Avila. With the bases loaded against Gonzalez this year, opponents are 5 for 14. That's 357. Kearns would like to make it 6 for 15. And the 1-0. That one's driven deep to left center field. Going back, Jackson. Still back. And it's going to be one hop over the wall. 2-run score. A double for Austin Kearns. And the Yankees lead 9-4.
There's 2 balls right there. It's cost the Yankees 2 runs. Both of them bouncing out. But if you're Austin Kearns coming off the bench, good base hit, good swing. Likely your stats held true. A little slider kind of backed up right over the middle of the plate. Good sound to it. Off the bat, I thought I had a chance to go out. But talk about Austin Jackson playing so shallow. These are the balls that he just can't get to.
Here is Ramiro Pena with runners on second and third and 2 outs. And now Jackson even more shallow in center field, as is Don Kelly in left. Remember something that our former colleague Jim Cott used to say. He wanted his outfielders to play in. He said, I'd rather you get those balls in. He said, if anything's in over your head, that's my fault. If it falls in front of you, it's your fault.
Well, interesting. Pena had that triple, and he shot this gap here to right center. They haven't changed the defense. Pitch him away, play him away.
Count 1-1. Now Chad Godin replaces Robertson with a 5-run lead going into the 8th. Popped up. Brandon Ainge will make the play for the final out of the 7th. But the Yankees get 2 more runs on 3 hits. 2 men are left. Let's take this baby to the 8th. It's 9-4 Yanks.
Responsible for both of these drives. Dustin Mosley tried to run a fastball in on the hands. That didn't work out. Home run number 29. Let's try the other way outside. That's home run number 30, and those are your Land Rover drives of the game.
The Yankee bullpen has been scoreless through 2, and now Chad Godin will take over as the team has a 5-run lead. Godin's last 3 appearances, 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. And those are the numbers overall.
Sound like a broken record now. These guys out of the pen, every one of them. Last appearance, no runs. Last appearance, no runs.
What we've seen from Chad Godin is a better fastball. I mean, it's mid-90s lately. You're used to seeing him around 90, 91. All of a sudden, the velocity has jumped.
With his 2 home runs, he's moved into a tie with the Sox Paul Konerko, but Jose Bautista 37 and Mark Teixeira's 4th with 27.
.340, 30, and 98. Still in August.
Those are strong.
Now, both benches were warned, and you just plunked Miguel Cabrera, and Eric Cooper's not doing a thing.
I think Leland's saying, hey, he's got to go. But, you know. Whether it's an intentional or not, when you've hit a couple home runs, you feel like it's intentional.
Now, in case you just joined us, first inning, first pitch from Jeremy Bonderman, he plunks Brett Gardner, and automatically Eric Cooper warns both benches. Well, how do you have a guy who just hit 2 home runs get hit, and after you warn the benches, that's not on purpose? And I'm not saying it is, but if you thought the first inning was on purpose, how's that not on purpose?
The mistake was you don't warn him in the first inning after the first pitch.
Right.
And then you don't have an argument here. You have nothing, and it still looks suspicious, but you saw Chad Godin's reaction, and you can usually tell with the reaction of a pitcher.
This is the first inning warning to both benches. After Gardner was hit, remember, Gardner had slid into Guillen to try to break up the inning-ending double play in the first game, and this is the first pitch of this game, and then he plunks Gardner. Now, this is Godin hitting Cabrera, and he looks, I can never read whether they did it on purpose. I mean, what do guys look for? I mean, is there something that gives away whether he did it on purpose?
I don't. I mean, he looked like he almost got away from it. And then in a 5-run game where you're beating somebody, I just don't see that you would do that.
I don't either. But you know what, Michael? If a guy throws at somebody on purpose, usually he'll just kind of keep walking towards the batter with his head up. You know, almost like, hey, there it is.
Right.
And you can see Chad Godin, it happens. He looks down almost like that's not what I wanted to do. We talked about Eric Cooper behind the plate.
Line drive, base hit into right field. Damon picks up a single as Cabrera advances to second.
We talked about it. Cooper behind the plate. Use some common sense if somebody else gets hit. And, you know, Jim Leland, in my opinion, has a very valid argument.
You can see Eric Cooper say, I got you, but he doesn't agree with him, but I got you, he keeps saying.
You know, and it's always said, and it's, you know, that the New York Yankees have much more to lose in a beanball war than a team that's 10.5 games out. And you hate to say it, you don't want anybody to get away with anything, but, you know, Jim Leland has every opportunity to stand up for his player there. I mean, here's your big part of your offense. You just got plunked, and in my mind and in your mind flashed it wasn't intentional. Right. But as a manager, you've got to sit there and make an issue here that it shouldn't have been a warning. My guy just got plunked.
Who hit 2 home runs.
Right.
Now he's complaining to the third base umpire, but the crew chief is Eric Cooper, the home plate ump. And this is something that Leland's not going to let go. And what we said in the first inning, once you issue warnings, then you have to become a mind reader, a seer that could say what somebody was thinking, and it's impossible to do.
you're at a point now where you're mad and you're going to get somebody. When you're 10.5 games out, if you get thrown out of the game, who cares? Again, your manager's hot.
I'll tell you what, it looks like they're going to let him go because they know he has a valid argument right here.
Umpires can't read minds, but what they can do is try to read the tea leaves, and that's what Cooper did in the first inning. Gardner had that slide, Guillen's on the DL, so maybe they hit him on purpose. Okay, great. All right. Whether it's true or not, you can see what he was thinking. Well, guy just hit 2 home runs. Your guy got hit. He gets plunked. You don't read those tea leaves? That's what Leland's complaining about. The 1-2. 2-2. He's still going.
I mean, you love it, though, because here's a guy that, it still has an unbelievable passion for the way the game's supposed to be played. And you, as a player, as an ex-player, just to see it, I mean, it's, you love it.
Now the pitch is outside, so it's 3-2. Runners on first and second, nobody out. And this game has had a lot of seesaw quality to it. There have been 6 home runs, a lot of drama, big plays, and you load the bases here, the Yankees might have to go to the bullpen again. And you've loaded the bases. A hit by pitch, a single to right, and a walk. And that's going to do it for Godin. Because now it gets serious again. The 5-run lead doesn't seem as significant. So Joe has to go and call on, I think it's David Robertson to face Brandon Inge. Yankees holding 9-4 lead, top of the 8th. As the Yankees are trying to stop this right here. Bases loaded, so they bring in their 8th inning guy, David Robertson, who's pitched beautifully of late. And he's going to face the bottom of the Tiger order with the bases loaded and nobody out.
See the numbers for Robertson, pretty impressive after a slow start. We thought with that Kearns double with the bases loaded, this game was over. Now things getting awfully interesting here in the 8th.
You almost wonder if Eric Cooper had that to do over again, if he would have just thrown Chad Godin out of the game. Everything would have been just a little more smooth. I mean, this inning is going to go on, and then who's to say what's going to happen down the line here?
Inge 1 for 3 tonight. Pitch inside, 1-0. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 8th inning, top of the Yankee order, Gardner, Jeter, and Teixeira. The 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1. 1-2. The bullpen getting a close look. Out in left center. And the 1-2 inside. 2-2. Nine-4 Yankees lead. Top of the 8th. Tigers threatening. The 2-2. Grounded. Foul. Boston now has jumped ahead of the Angels 6-5. Top of the 8th inning at Fenway. Tough season for the LA Angels. They're 8 games back on a 500 team, 60-60. The 2-2. Check swing, did he go? No, said Chad Fairchild.
It's not going to make Joe Girardi happy, but a perfect pitch from David Robertson down out of the strike zone. You get a check swing. Thinking about a possibility of a strikeout. Looked like he held up. Get a better look here from the side.
3-2. High fly ball. Deep left. Gardner back on the track. He makes the catch. Tagging is Cabrera. He'll score. A sac fly for Inge. And the Yankee lead is now 9-5. So Inge flirted with a grand slam. But Gardner pulled it in on the warning track. So Cabrera, who got plunked to start the inning, gets a run scored, his 3rd run scored of the night. And here's Alex Avila. Strike. Robertson's last 17 appearances, 16 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 22 strikeouts, 9 walks, is not allowed to run. Now he did allow that inherited runner to score, and that is charged to Godin. The 0-1. 1-1.
That was allowed out right there by Brandon Inge. He didn't miss it by much. I mean, it ends up just being a sacrifice fly, but very close to getting one out of here. This game real close.
Quick turnaround. Tomorrow, game 4 of this set. 1:05 start. And we'll have it on Yes starting at 12:30 with our pregame show. First pitch, honestly, right around 107, 108. I think so, yeah. Phil Hughes against Rick Porcello. And the 1-2. 2-2. There's today's starter. That didn't fare that well. Jeremy Bonderman.
Started the attitude of what was going to happen tonight at the first pitch of the game, if you think about it.
The 2-2. Nubbs slowly up the third baseline. Fielded by Pena. And he stuffs on the bag for the second out.
Nice pitch by Robertson going with the curveball, but most importantly, keeping it on the outside part of the plate. You don't want to give that lefty that one swing down and in, so he throws a backdoor curveball and a weak little off the end of the bat. Thinking about the possibility of a double play here, but Pena does a smart thing. Let's take the out at third.
Here's Don Kelly. Home run and a bunt single, 2-run home run. The pitch inside.
Robertson's looking at the scoreboard like, what, that ball just right there?
The 1-0. 2-0. And the pitch. Fastball struck.
Take a look back in the 5th inning. Mr. Mosley threw a little curveball. It was pretty much middle, maybe a little bit in. Kelly picks up his 3rd home run of the year. Good fastball right there from Robertson, a 2-0 count. Kelly couldn't even pull the trigger. It tells you how much life he has on that fastball.
Check swing. Yes, he did go, said Bill Miller. Jim Leland is really flirting with getting thrown out of the game.
Flash, I think you're right. I think Leland's got these guys handcuffed. Yeah. I think he can do whatever he wants at this point.
2-2. Slice foul. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Yankees up by 4. Bottom on top of the 8th. The pitch. Slow roller fielded by Robertson. What a nice job by Robertson. Comes in with the bases loaded, nobody out. Gives up a sac fly, but escapes without further damage. 1 run, 2 men left. 9-5 Yanks. Hey, after the final, I'll keep you there on Yes for the WB Mason postgame as Bob Lorenz and Kimberly Jones recap all the action from this game and also take a look at the playoff race around the majors. Plus, Joe Girardi will give his postgame reaction. That's all coming up after the final out, only on Yes. While you were away during the commercial, Jim Leland talked with Eric Cooper the entire time. Didn't get really heated, but it was animated, and then retreated back to the dugout. And Gardner leads off and takes a pitch outside, 1-0. And this was what was happening the entire time you were watching commercials. And that was the intensity pretty much the entire time. Talking fast and making a point.
You know, if you're Jim Leyland, you've got a point. I mean, you warned the guy in the first inning. You've got a guy who's your slugger, hits a couple home runs. He gets hit right in the back, whether it's intentional or unintentional, which I don't think it was. You've got a gripe. Throw him out and it's over with.
Count 1-2 on Gardner. It all started with Gardner getting plunked in the right leg. First pitch of the bottom of the first inning. Strike 3, Gardner down looking. So Enrique Gonzalez starts off with a strikeout. Mariano getting ready. And that's going to bring up Derek Jeter. Derek 0 for 4 tonight with 3 ground balls and a strikeout.
Played with Mac. That's Lloyd McClendon over there, and you know, he could go off too. But again, I mean, it's they've got a point, and it's, you know, if you're an umpire and you're going to warn, you know, you've got to keep that warning throughout the whole game.
And he throws behind Jeter, and now how do you not throw him out? So now Joe Girardi has an argument. You've just warned teams. That was obviously on purpose, and you don't throw that pitcher out. Does that make any sense whatsoever?
Eric Cooper's in a mess now. He doesn't know what to do.
He's lost control, is what he's done.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
You throw behind the Yankee captain after Cabrera got hit, and you don't throw the guy out. That renders the warning a completely foolish thing that you did in the first inning. Made no sense. It was totally benign.
Gonzalez goes with a little cutter away. Sometimes you set up a pitch away to go back in the next time. We'll see. Bad feeling, Paul. You walk up there and you don't know what's going on here.
I mean, nobody wants to hit in this situation, but you know, this situation was not brought on by the teams. It was brought on by Eric Cooper in the first inning, and that's the problem with what's going on with these umpires and these warnings right now.
And there's a walk to Jeter. Now, we're not sure if Leyland has been thrown out. We did not see him get the thumb, but he is not in the dugout. Now we're told that he was thrown out. So he is in the tunnel right now, probably. And there's a little video room just off to the side. He's probably watching there, and he was tossed out. So, and that was for all the arguing, not because they threw behind Jeter. That was done during the half inning. Here's Teixeira. Count 1-0.
What do you think Mark Teixeira is thinking here? You know what? I'm a first baseman.
Yeah, that's
Cabrera's a first baseman. I hit a home run.
Jeter is. I mean, you would think that the target would be on Teixeira's back, but you know, you have an opportunity, you missed, and you have to go on with it. I mean, you know what happened, but again, it wasn't handled the right way. It's kind of taken away from a good offensive night from the Yankees.
The 1-1. Jumps up and hits Teixeira. Now we do, looking back at the tape, this is when Leyland was thrown out, and it was before, it was right at the end of the last half inning. Cooper had hurt enough. He finally tosses him, and that's when Leyland came out and had the entire half inning talking with Cooper. So the manager's gone. Count 2-2. John, I think you said it best in the first inning. In the old days, the players would patrol it, and we wouldn't be in this situation. And Leyland wouldn't be angry, as he's rightfully angry. And he wouldn't be thrown out. And the count 3-2. So Jeter leads off first, 3-2 count on Teixeira. Yankees lead 9-5. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Jeter goes, and the pitch is inside, and Teixeira walks. So Teixeira's been on base all 5 times. He's gotten everything: a home run, a double, a single, a walk. He reached on an error. The only thing he doesn't have is a triple. Now, I'm very anxious to hear if Eric Cooper has an explanation. As now the pitching coach is going to go out and talk with Gonzalez. And what I mean by that, you warned after Gardner got hit. Then, after 2 home runs, Godin hits, whether on purpose or not, he hits the star of the Tigers. After the warning, you don't throw him out. Then the Tigers throw behind the captain of the Yankees, obviously on purpose, and they don't get thrown out. So what, did they get a free peg on the Yankees because they made a mistake not throwing out Godin? So how does Eric Cooper explain that? Yeah, I made a mistake, so I let him throw at the Yankees off for free. Can't wait.
Well, that's the problem. He won't have to answer to it. He'll go in his room. He'll get in his street clothes. He'll get out of here. And they don't have to talk about it. Big difference between the umpires and the players. The players have to go in there and say why I struck out and lost the game. You have to answer to it.
Now, they do answer to some questions. They let a pool reporter ask the questions, and it's usually the crew chief, which happens to be Eric Cooper. Now, they don't have to do it if they don't want to. Let's see if they decide to explain themselves. Knapp on the phone to the bullpen, the 1-0.
You see every hitter that goes up there now, every inside pitch, you're thinking, oh, God, is this guy just can't do it, or is he trying to throw in? You're just wondering as a hitter, is it me? Is it the next guy?
You're on your heels.
And Gonzalez has lost the plate in the count 3-0.
Tell you what, these last 2 innings, the pitching changes and what's going on here has really slowed this game down. We're on that 4-hour pace again.
This is not on purpose. This is a guy who has no idea where the ball's going right now. Boston leads the Angels 7-5, bottom of the 8th. So the bases are loaded for Nick Swisher.
Don't know, Flash. Some guy just really can't pull the trigger, to tell you the truth.
A lot of inside fast. You see Robinson Cano, his reaction. He's thinking there's maybe some intent there. Probably the most comfortable hitter this inning now will be Nick Swisher, thinking the base is loaded. Well, they're probably not going to do anything here. Looking for a good pitch to hit.
We detailed earlier how great the Yankees have been with the bases loaded this year. But there's a ground ball to Cabrera, and he's going to fire home. And they will get Jeter in a rundown. He goes to third, and Avila will tag both.
See if they get this one right.
Looks like they did. So a double play, and you score 3-2. So the Yankees don't score. 3 walks. They leave 2. Now it's up to Mariano Rivera to restore order in the 9th. State of Sports Special. Sports business executives Randy Levine, Jerry Jones, Jonathan Kraft, and Sal Galantiotto break down the business behind their respective brands and delve into the future. It's all new Friday at 11, and it's only on Yes. Mariano Rivera comes on.
That's a welcome sight. When Mo comes on, you don't have 20-minute innings. That's one way to look at it, huh, Flag?
I'm sure the Yankees a little disappointed Mariano's in this game, though. A nice lead going into the 8th inning. Now he's got to work in the 9th.
And Mariano also works 2 straight days that aren't save situations. And there's a strike.
And you wonder about a day game after a night game tomorrow.
Austin Jackson, 2 for 4 tonight. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, just how much can you talk about him? Mo comes in, he throws strikes, nobody can hit him. I mean, what a job, right?
The 0-2. 1-2.
Big cutter right there from Mariano.
He really extended on that pitch and got that extra. Instead of the 6-inch break, you get the 12-inch break on that one.
Just missed with that one.
You know, it's really amazing. If you're watching, Joe Girardi told me an interesting thing years ago that you have to really watch and be careful where you set up with Mo because he hits the glove. But if you see that last pitch, it was up and in. I mean, the glove doesn't even move.
The bat moved as Austin Jackson strikes out.
Again, I mean, if you set up out over the plate, he'll throw it out over the plate. This ball right here, right on the outside corner. Austin Jackson had just been set up with a ball up and in.
There's Santiago.
You know, Paul, you talk about hitting the glove. He's so easy to catch. You almost have to guard against getting too relaxed back there because he always hits the glove.
Or overthinking, too, because, I mean, he could come in an inning and throw 9, 12, 15 cutters in a row and be successful. And every once in a while you get a right-handed hitter and you think, well, I better run a 2-seamer in on him, and it's ouch.
Shattered bat. Ground ball to Cano. And the Tigers down to their final out.
Well, this is a typical Mo cutter in on a left-hander's hand. Broken bat. Not much you could do. The only way you can hit that ball hard is to pull it foul over the dugout. There's no way to really hit that good cutter as a left-hander and keep it fair and hit it hard.
Here's Ryan Rayburn. Count 1-0. Yankees looking to take the second game out of the first 3 of this 4-game set. You lose the first game of a 4-game set, it's awfully hard to win the series. But the Yankees will have a chance tomorrow behind Phil Hughes if they hold on here. Right in on the hands, 1-1.
Seen this a lot lately from Mariano against the right-handers. A lot of 2-seamers that are running in on their hands. There used to be a time where the right-handers actually had an advantage. He seems to have made an adjustment where that's not the case anymore. At least you don't feel that way.
You know where he made that adjustment is there was one guy back with Seattle that he could not get out. Edgar Martinez would just wear him out. It was the only guy I ever saw hitting hard, and he learned to throw that 2-seamer in. And it's been years to get it to the point where he has pinpoint control with it now. But that was the start of that 2-seamer.
46,479. Many of them, most of them on their feet, looking for strike 3 from Rivera. Just missed. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yankees up by 4, 9-5. Mariano poised to throw his 12th pitch of the night. Looped into center field. Granderson makes the play, and the Yankees win 9-5. So Mariano comes on and restores order, and the Tigers lose their second straight to the Yankees. This one by a score of 9-5. A home run by Curtis Granderson, and the Yankee win coupled with the Tampa Bay win means the Yankees are still tied for first place in the American League East, in the Red Sox game still going on at Fenway. They lead the Angels. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's tonight's Chevy Player of the Game. 6 home runs in this game. Miguel Cabrera with 2, Don Kelly with 1, and for the Yankees, Teixeira and Cano back-to-back in the first inning, and then Granderson a solo shot in the 5th inning. The winner for the Yankees, Dustin Mosley, and the Yankees had to use 6 relievers as Mosley went 5 innings. Now it's time now to go down to Kimberly Jones, who is with Curtis Granderson. Kimberly?
Thanks, Michael. Curtis, the last 2 nights, it seems like the offense got back on track as a group. To what do you attribute that?
You know, I think just baseball in general, getting a chance to go back out there day in and day out and having a chance to rebound back from it. Still got a long way to go. Want to try to get everybody going. It's easier said than done, but running up against good pitching, it makes it a little bit difficult to go out there and get to where you want to as an offense.
Listen to these numbers, Curtis. Since you debuted your new and improved swing in Kansas City, hitting .346, 5 extra base hits, including 3 home runs, 4 RBIs. Is that swing second nature to you now?
No, not necessarily that point. I'm still working on it. There's still a couple times where I'm reverting back to my old style and trying to go ahead and finalize some things, and Kevin Long and myself are still talking about it. So it's still got some things we got to tweak out, but, you know, again, the main thing is just each day getting closer and closer to where we want to be.
Well, lately you don't need to tweak that home run swing. Does a home run on back-to-back nights against your former team, is that a little sweeter?
No, I mean, home runs at any time are always good, and victories are the big thing. You know, coming up with big wins here. Now we're ahead in this series, but tomorrow's a very big day. We got to try to win this series. Splitting the series is going to be tough, so we got to go out there tomorrow. Porcello's been a great pitcher. I've seen him do a lot of great things being behind him. It's going to be tough battle on player against him offensively. But tomorrow is kind of one of those must-win games. You know, you want to win the series.
Curtis, we all saw it. Gardner hit at the beginning of the game. Cabrera hit later. Things got a little chippy. You know both sides pretty well here. What did you see?
Hey, just exactly what you said. You know, one guy got hit, another guy got hit, and then everybody continued to go back to playing baseball, and that was it. You know, tomorrow's going to be another great day, and guys are going to be ready to go out there and try to do the best they can to win.
I got to ask you as we let you go about Hope Week. This is your first go-round with it. I know you were with Mo Kamara today. Great day at the New York Stock Exchange, City Hall, the UN. What does Hope Week mean